You keep forgetting to share our shit. Oh, you mean
off the jump, bro. I always share it like afterwards. When we're live, I gotta share when we're live. That's the important part.
Yeah.
And I see you do it, and I'll go to do it, and I put my phone down, just start talking, and it'll just be done from there.
Yeah, it's definitely probably best to be on it early.
There we go. Live on YouTube, live on Facebook. Cheers.
One of those special Friday nights brought to you by the Shitshow.
Shout out to our sponsors. We don't have
Natty Bo, Bernie Sanders, Elon. We want you.
Which is it's funny because that's actually probably a good thing to start off on. I was you see, you released that video with the monkey mind pong shit.
I didn't watch it. I thought it was something I had seen, but yes.
Yeah, I was watching it, and I mean, off the jump, when you're looking at something like that, and for one, watching a monkey play Pong would be, for me, pretty impressive regardless. But then you're seeing them play it with what they say is his mind. And when they up the speed, he's going super fast, and it's just like, if this is what they're working with already, like this early on, bro, it just seems like it's going to be a really fucking, like, game-changing thing. I really doubted that they were this far with it, you know what I'm saying? I did not think they were anywhere near what they like kind of put on with that little show today, you know what I'm saying? Like, even to the point where they were testing on animals type of deal, like, and I didn't even believe they had gone that far to technology. Y'all still seem so like concept art.
I hate to be this guy, bro, because it kind of stops us from getting into anything, and it probably is a cancer. But like, what's to say that like the moment that video cut off, that monkey didn't die that day, right?
Very true.
Like, I can hook you up for some shit and figure it out for a couple hours, maybe, right? Maybe a day or two. But like, can you sustain every single day of life? They like, you don't know what they did to that. They could have fucking drills going into that thing's head, you know? You have no idea. So you made a monkey do it? Well, if I wanted to, I can make a monkey fucking walk with bionic fucking legs if I want to, you know? I can do a lot of fucked up shit, bro. Yeah, and it's also the speed of the Pong. I'd have to watch the video exactly, but the speed of Pong, that's not that impressive because we already established that they have these things that we don't have, that we know that we did have. Well, we don't know, right? But we think that we did have, but we basically grew out of.
That's
like that picture memory and shit.
Yeah. Well, that's not the impressive part. The part is that like the speed at which that like it's able to communicate with another device. So when you have devices that communicate wirelessly like that, like Bluetooth and whatnot, they have latency. And when you see like we see it a lot when people talk about video games, like you play with a wireless controller, your latency is a lot longer. The input it takes, the length of time it takes for the game to register your input from your controller over a wireless point. Maybe milliseconds, but there is a delay and a much longer delay to something that's not directly wired in. So to see something that's like wirelessly communicating, like with that speed to where you could play a live game like Pong, and like just with your brain, just move something up and down. Even though it's that simple, but moving up and down in this video game. Like for one, just think about the programming, like because they were breaking down how they were doing it. So they had him do a calibration test, and they were monitoring his brain as he's moving this ball to these highlighted points on the screen. And eventually, like, once they, that goes into like an algorithm that connects these pathways and these brain signals being lit up by what he's doing directly to the neurological activity, like the neurons firing in his brain. And they're measuring both of those and correlating them, which is how they're calibrating the machine to then be able to move something super quickly and effectively wirelessly on a screen. Like, it just seemed...
It's insane.
Yeah, it just seemed like, light years ahead of like anything in the world that we got, maybe that's stupid or naive to say, but like, that just seems crazy to where like, we're really looking at like a stepping stone for like bionic cyber, like fully technology integrated into your body, like bioengineering, like cyborgism.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it really is impressive. But like, to me, like the robot shit impresses me way more. Like Boston Dynamics and shit. Like, I'm way more impressed by that. Just because there's no brain linked into it. Like that one that's jumping and doing front flips and shit like that. Like on one leg, getting hit by a ball and staying up and shit. Like, What? That's what I didn't know we were that far in that.
obstacle course, like he's jumping, he does
Yeah.
a 180, a backflip,
Dancing.
front flip.
Like,
it's
what
like-
the fuck?
And then you see him stick the landing, and there's like, it's just like
I had no idea. Like today, you could create something and tell it to kill me.
Yeah,
And it would attempt to kill me.
yeah. I mean, you're talking about like robot soldiers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, yeah, we had like like UAVs, like unmanned aircraft for a while. But when you're talking about
I never seen no shit like that.
some shit running around with balance, front
You
flips,
can easily
back
put a
flips.
gun in that thing's hand and tell it to pull the trigger.
Right now, the only limitation is weight and how small they can make components.
It seems like coding that thing to shoot would have been a tenth of the power they did to do all that other shit.
Yeah,
you don't even need something that moves, bro. You could just sit there. Listen, if that thing doesn't even have to have legs, right? If it can go like this and up and down, you can put 150 of them on the fucking front lines. You know what I mean? And they ain't got to move at all. It's just like, here we are. You're coming. You know, just like anything is right now, like the fat and shit like that. That's what it does. Yeah. It's not going anywhere. It's just like, I see something. Ding, 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 ding. And you get 150 of them that are like, bro, we ain't even coming over there. I didn't even build this thing with legs. It's just completely non-aggressive. Only if you attack will my robots attack.
So I mean, like, it's just it just seems like we're like turning over that point where like we're like gonna like step into like a new age, like the next information age. Like,
do you think like if you've seen that video, that means the government's like at least double that? Do you believe that?
What do you mean, like double that?
Like double as far as that?
Oh no.
You don't think they're as far as that, right?
Yeah, there? I think like
you think they allow a privatized company to like succeed in knowledge of like a major like militaristic webbing like that far?
I mean, look at rocketry. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like it just seems.
You think so, bro? I've talked to you about this before. Bro. I've told you my thoughts on that, though, bro. And I mean, I'll reiterate it again just so everyone knows. Like, I really do question. Like, is Elon government backed, bro? Because just to clear, I don't want to get into the whole we've done it before. Maybe you don't remember, but
yeah,
just to clear that up is like, you're always going to get to this point of, oh, I don't want no government, but I don't want big corporation, you know? So like we talked about it before, like what if Amazon was the government? Everybody be like, fuck Amazon, you know, like fuck that company, man. They're in it for the big man, you know, like that shit's corrupted, man. But because it's a face to it and it's Jeff Bezos and he did it out of his garage, now it's like acceptable because he went and did it himself, capitalism. But like, who's to say that Jeff Bezos isn't in cahoots, right? That's the word. Cahoots.
Or even had early backing.
Whatever it is with high government officials that are like, look, we're going to allow you to pay no taxes to low taxes and allow you to basically monopolize the market, take away all the mom and pop shops within 100 miles of any of your factories. And all we want is X amount on this side, or you're going to back this, or you're going to fund this, whatever it is. And you're never going to step outside of your little realm because your realm is still $100 billion and you have the greatest life that can be imagined. But really, there is this limitation where you already had these talks behind, you know, where it's like, hey, like NASA, like you could, bro, like you can't convince us to give the government more money anymore, right? So like with NASA, like they don't have a big budget, bro. Just think about that straight up. It's like what do they show? Like it's like 1.2% of the national budget or something like that. Like it's nothing, right? So already you can't make a lot of these advances where you have a man who's willing to pour his entire net worth into creating this idea, right? And he can hire whoever he wants to. Yeah. He decides if he wants to do drug tests even, right? With NASA, you have all these limitations. And look at FBI where they're like, bro, we literally have to stop drug testing because all the hackers smoke weed. Like, literally, that's what it is. But you're at NASA and you're like, dude, this is the fucking best scientist we can find. He's 17, you know, and he's like, he's already advanced in rocketry times 10. But, oh, the dude did mushrooms 2 years ago or something like that, you know, and failed his polygraph. Like, we can't hire him now. That's how it goes. Look at them astronauts, bro. They're bald-headed white guys, like the cleanest cut, suck so much dick, never even smoked a cigarette. You know what I mean? Like, you just know it. Like, they're just the ultimate, like, clean head. And it's like, all right, yeah, you get passed. Elon doesn't have to worry about that. Elon can go work with whoever he wants to work with, bro. He has a lot of freedom. He has more of a budget. You know, and he also has less restrictions on just period what he's allowed to do. It almost seems like him as a privatized company is allowed to get, you know, approval for this shit easier than it is for NASA to get approval for this shit. Like, no one wants to back more money into the government. It's got nothing to do with NASA. You can tell us any part of government and everybody's like, bro, we don't want to give you $1 more. We already don't feel like it's being spent well.
And that's why, like, when I look at like senators and like congressmen, I'm just like, if people really think that someone is coming to Mitch McConnell's office and he's just like, hey, Mitch, and strikes up some type of deal like what we're talking about now, it's like, fuck no, bro. We're talking about, we're talking about like levels and levels of like tiers of different people. Like there's some obscure dude who works in the White House or the CIA who went out and made that deal with that person because there's a strategic benefit that the Congress people or even the chief or
just one fucking person, right? Just one person. That's it. One congressperson benefits. And it's just like, got my vote. That's how it works.
They're just like, well, how much am I getting paid? Okay, cool. Whereas like, the backdoor dudes are just like, look, like the advisor to the congressman just comes up like, look, here, Terry here had to deal with Tesla. You know what I mean? Just like, when you really look at like, I mean, like, of course it's known, but like the real like puppeteering and like kind of like the charade of like what like Senate and Congress is, just like it's just so stupid and like it's just so like foolish anymore.
Not
what I'm
only
saying?
that,
Like,
but like every branch of government or like anything government related, bro. Like it's all foolish. Like when you hear about the military spending, right, or the fact that like you're only investing 1.2% into NASA, like shit like that. I don't know if that's the exact percentage.
And the fact they tell you like the three branches of government and the Congress and
not only that,
council
but,
and
dude, let's go farther, right? This is where I was saying before to you, where like you get so big and try to answer so many problems, you get stupid. Or it's like, this shit don't even make sense no more. Like, the perfect example to me is like FBI, CIA, DEA. Dude, none of them work together. They literally don't give each other intelligence. They're not supposed to. Because in our mind, it's like, well, you don't want these people to be in cahoots, I'm going to keep using that word. Cahoots.
It's a great word.
Yeah,
I use it all the time, bro.
You don't want them to be like, basically like sabotaging shit or like able to cover up each other, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like you're doing shit to counteract each other. Like when they were saying like the CIA was bringing coke, into America. Like that was proven, right? Well, like they're doing that to try and fuck another branch of America, whatever it is, DEA, FBI.
DEA's like, shit!
Yeah, it's like, DEA can't get fucking coke off the streets, and they're bringing in boats, But that increases their budget by $200 million next year.
Yeah, because we got to help figure out who's bringing in the coke.
We're going to take care of the coke.
No, we're going to figure it out. You won't go be boots on the ground. We're going to figure it out
next year. Wow, you really got them coke numbers down. Yeah. Then DA's like, how do we get coke? I swear, bro.
That's why you look at like different types of like departments. Like I know the dude in like the government department of arts is just like, fuck y'all. Like,
imagine like the one dude that's trying to do right.
I was saying the dude in the Department of Arts, he's just like, I just want people to draw pictures of this shit. Yeah. It's good for us. And they're just like,
but like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't believe in any of them though. Like even with Bernie, right? Like he's like that's the closest you're gonna get to a clean cut guy of like what you can believe in.
Yeah.
And you still know he took a dick or two.
Yeah. And I mean,
he took a dick or two.
And that's the other thing is that like, all the people that like play roles behind the scenes, like we don't even talk about like the generals who are in charge of a lot of like the defense shit. Yeah, bro. Like generals aren't voted in, bro.
Can we just clear one thing up because I feel like this needs to be said. Anybody who had a picture marching next to Martin Luther King, I think you should be a presidential candidate that's voted for. Like I felt like that was like the ultimate solidification of like, damn, bro, wow, like I don't even know this guy. But for you to be there at that time, making that decision, I like to think that's not government implanted. And that was a human that was trying to make a moral decision that day at that amount of time. And he happened to be there in one of the most, chaotic, inspirational moments ever, multiple moments he's in, and you're just like, and on the opposite side, no matter who it is, Trump, Romney, whatever, they're all preaching some type of hate. And then you got this guy who marched with the king, bro. I don't even know Bernie. I've actually fell back from him as far as like how much I actually was, liking him because of a lot of things. But with that right there, bro, you could have showed me Biden marching with Luther King, and I just would have been like, Bro, that's like I think I'll give you 4 years. Out of them guys, you know what I mean? Like out of what you're giving me, you give me a guy that I know marched with the king. Fuck it, you got 4. You know
We'll see how you do.
Yeah,
We'll come back 4 years later. Okay?
I'll tell you what. I hope you got more.
We'll revisit the subject. You know what I'm saying? My man's like,
it's a stupid ass system, bro. That's just gotten too big.
Yeah, and I mean, like,
it was beautiful. At the start.
I mean, it was beautiful at the start. And
it's ingenious, bro.
We had and we had our golden age. You know, we had our age of like real, like, you know, real power growth and like some real like type of like succeeding as like a country.
But that came at a cost, right?
Oh, of course. But I mean, like, you know, when you look at the direction of the country now, you know, where it's like, okay, we're still sitting on this idea of like, you know, we're like, hey, you know, we're still good old number one up here, you know what I'm saying? We're the big dogs, you know what I'm saying? That's just not becoming the case anymore as you see more countries encroaching and reaching that area. And also as you look at in what America is, I mean, it's a huge place. But what America is and how it looks in some of its biggest, you know, culture epicenters like New York. New York is a fucking trashy ass city. New York's dirty as shit. The New York subway system, for what New York is, should look like fucking just be immaculate. You know what I'm saying? Shining, beautiful. You know what I'm saying? It should be like, look like an actual first world country owns this bitch. But it's literally filthy as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look at the rundown, you know, parts of like, you know, some of the biggest port cities, which are like, you know, usually like that, like, you know, centers of wealth and prosperity, you know, I mean, like what used to be, but like, you know, where foreigners and foreign tradespeople are coming and porting up, and like, you know, they go around the city that they live in, just that they are dropping off and dropping anchor, and it looks like absolute shit. You know, that things are dilapidated. There's potholes everywhere. Fucking bridges falling apart. Tunnels that are fucking 50 years old. Like,
I don't know what the facts was of if it's true, but shout out to Grant. He actually was telling me, you know, he was telling us, remember, about when Castro came to New York. And there was a little quote he said that kind of did stick with me, where he said, you know, Castro was like, you know, you have skyscrapers and Rolexes, but there's a man right next to me begging for money. Like, that just does not make sense. And it's like, yeah, that's what I've been trying to say. Like, yeah, like that doesn't make sense. Like, that skyscraper could have been half the size, still been as productive, and we could have fed, you know, 500 million people. Yeah. Like, it's crazy the numbers of money that's thrown around and the amount of money that like goes around in the world, and to think that like some people have nothing, bro. Like, that shit makes me sad, bro. It makes me,
especially in capitalistic societies. I mean, we have the one dude, you know, Bill Huang, you know, lose 20 billion in 2 days, and you got banks out the ass, like literally out the ass, just like wanting to give this guy money. They were just like, yeah, we'll give you money to play dangerous with. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, like 4 different banks lost billions of dollars. Like, it's just, like, I believe with the one, I believe it was Merrill Lynch, I believe, JP Morgan, one of those 4, Marusa, one of those, they lost all the money that they made up to this point from 2019. Like,
here's what I'm at, but listen, this is why I'm going crazy. I'm a very sick man right now, bro. Where like when you say that, in my mind, I'm questioning, Steve, did they lose anything, Steve? Think about what we said. We've been talking about it for months, bro. The pixie dust, right? Like money isn't even cash anymore, right? It's on a card. It's numbers. Mm-hmm. So when you say they lost 4.4 billion, it's like, did they even lose anything though, Steve, right? Like, and I can go conspiratorial on many of ways of that, right? Like, number one being, they can just straight up tell you they lost 4.4 billion. And there's literally no way that Stephen Baker can prove that.
Well, see.
Right? But let me just finish there. Yeah. That's one way, right, of like that. But then there's a number 2 way of like, how many times have they manipulated the pixie dust to create money to the point that it was 40 billion, right? So they lost 4.4 billion. They made 36 billion. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, exactly what you're saying. So that's what I'm saying.
It's all.
But that's what I'm saying.
Believe nothing no more, Steve.
Well, see, this is the thing.
I'm cursed, dog.
The thing, this is what I think. You know, this is what really frames. This is what I'm trying to say. Like, this is what really frames the picture, though, is that, like, you know, they say they lost that and they're okay. It's all good. No one's going under. Nothing's happened. There's nothing going under. Then everyone's good. Everyone's chilling. Everyone's cool. There's like, hey, look, we just lost a quick 4.4 billion. No one at all is like, it's even going to phase them. You know what I'm saying? They're just going to make that tenfold. Like, it's just like, that's why they say like literally like stocks only go up, because like literally like, you know, in capitalistic size, like, you know, wealth is only accumulated. You know what I'm saying? Like the economy is driven on a basis of continued economic growth to where, you know, you get to a point like where we're at now, where it's like, okay, we made 10 billion last year, but over the last, 10 years, we've made literally quadruple, triple, 100 times whatever that billion number is. Whatever we want to throw out there, we could argue about the actual factual number they're losing or actually have or all day. But like the fact that like this is really framing to the picture of how much and how big this digital number is, that's most likely not even in circulation or in anyone's pockets, even printed, even exist yet. And the fact that like, okay, you say you could just lose 4.4 billion, but like, we're back to that Castro quote where like, this dude dying hungry here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, it's just like
insane.
And then I want to continue to point of like, where economies nowadays are built around the idea of like continued growth. I mean, like, yeah, that may be good for the economy, but as a whole, as an actual political system, as actual, an ideological idea of how to run a country and a financial means, is that necessarily good for what we're going to continue to, push doing as a human society, as a species, and as like a human race of like, moving forward, I mean, like the idea that like this thing needs to keep growing. Like, the idea that like at Q1 earnings, Microsoft has to increase their earnings quarter over quarter, or they just don't increase in value, is just like an insane idea of like you get money to get more money, you get money, get more money. Well, this is not enough money, this needs more money.
That's why I always say evil, bro. I don't know what else to call it, bro, because you guys made enough money 50 times over to be with your family for the rest of your life every day. And you still choose to go show up to a fucking office to make, a billionaire billion. And
another thing to think about is that, like, this ideology, this idea of like free market capitalism, did spur a huge golden age in human time, in humankind. We can't understate what it did do for us as a society, but we also need to talk about when it's time, when this type of ideology is outdated, when this type of thing needs to be moved on from. When we look at like oligarchy, like when we look at the civil, like when we want civil, we look at all the time.
Totally agree with
different government types. It is definitely outdated, and when we're moving forward, we need to come up with a new system that continues to move us in a prosperous direction. And there's going to be like, this is not the end all be all. It's not like, hey, we hit capitalism, well now everything's done, we don't create new governments, we don't create new systems. It's everyone wants to bring up socialism, communism, but it's like we can make a new system using some of all these pieces, can't we? Like, is that not a thing you can do?
Yeah.
I mean, because you can, like, and you call something new, and then we can push them, usher in that new age of like human prosperity.
But the people that make those decisions are the ones that are making the money.
Yeah.
So you always have this counterweight on your ass of like, how do you ever make progress, bro? But I think you're totally, true. And that's the thing, bro, is like, there's a lot of things. You made a good point there, with everything you said. There's a lot of things I was thinking. It's like, number one, with the banks, I was thinking is just like, when you have this amount of people though, like, you also can spread those losses pretty far, right? Like if 100 million people are in your hedge fund, or, let's say it's 100,000 millionaires in your hedge fund, and you lose 4.4 billion, like you can spread that out to be like, oh, it was, I don't know, fucking, hey, it's 30 million a piece to each of you billionaires. Give me 2 weeks.
And that's
right.
That's the interesting, bro. Like that's like, they say like the modern day, like stock exchange and financial systems, a lot of these ideas, originated in, Amsterdam in the ports, when they're doing all this trading, to India and whatnot. And, everyone used to have chartered their own boat, but then they had this idea of like, hey, well, I mean, if we pay cargo and everyone puts a little bit piece of everything on this boat, well, I mean, when they're sailing around the African continent all the way to India in this like 6-month, year-long journey, you lose a lot of shit. So what they figured out was that we could spread the losses amongst everybody, and we can all continue to make, be prosperous, and not one single incident will sink one of us. We'll just continue to be us. You know what I'm saying? So we all put a couple goods in these boats. We lose some. We send 3 ships. We all made good money. No one lost a crazy amount. It's
and they took that idea for good and they made it evil, bro. And now billionaires are using that same idea, where it's like, yeah, we're just spread the loss between us, and we're making another billion this year. We're gonna make profit this year.
Well, where they fucked up was where they, when they like started bringing in like the taxpayer, when they started bringing in, putting it off onto other people, and like, somehow transferring money from the government into your pocket, because of reckless financial decisions you made as an institution that were illegal. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that like And so y'all can go fuck each other all you want all day. But when you start bringing us into it, you know what I'm saying? Your hands in my pocket because of some dumbass shit you did. But once the other way around, my hand can't be in your pocket when I do some dumbass shit.
But in
like
capitalism, their hand's always in your pocket, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
No matter what,
Yeah.
their hand's always in your pocket. Your
Yeah.
hand's never in their pocket.
It's like they
That's
could.
what's so hard. Is like, how do you? It's like, see, like you saying that right there. You get it, bro. Like you get it. I feel like I get it. I agree with you. Like, yeah, like not only, hey, if you can't build something new, I think you should abolish what exists, bro. And not only that, but like when you're saying like, see, you say the same a lot of things of like that Dave says, and you're right. Like you guys are right. Like we definitely did make huge improvements for that. But when I can sit here, you can listen to me all the things you have, bro, and I can list you all the losses, and I think I'll go 3 times as long. When you think about just the smallest things, like think about them factories pumping, right? How many people got cancer, bro? How many people got fucking lead paint? How many people got, black lung? How many people got X, Y, and Z, right? And still live with it and die from it, and their daddies died from it, and blah, 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 right? I could go with that all day long. But the most important thing is what you're speaking on, right? Is the fact that like we lost our soul, though. We lost our soul in this process of trying to acquire everything, bro. And we can't get that back. Like we cannot get that back in what we have right now because like you're saying, we're just chasing more. We got to stop. We have to go back. We got to stop and go back to get our soul, bro. We left it back there and we're way past it now. It's like, that's how I see it. I'm like, we got to stop this shit. And what did it bring me, man? A bunch of shit I already told you I don't believe in and I don't want, bro. I don't want heart transplants. I don't think they should exist. I really don't. I don't think nobody should be able to get a heart transplant. And I hate to break anybody's heart, but if it's a baby, I don't think you should give a baby a heart transplant, bro. I don't think you should affect natural life in any way that is unnatural. Yeah. So unless I can give you a natural medicine and it helps you, whatever it is in life, that's the only way. Like penicillin. Yeah. I'm going to give you penicillin, right? But like when you get to the point of like transplants, lung transplants and shit, clones, stem cell type shit, it's like you're getting to the point where I said it before and it's one of my favorite things, I keep repeating where it's like, I feel like we're going to be left behind in evolution because we're no longer natural, bro. We're not going to evolve with the planet anymore. We're going to evolve like to develop what we've developed, which is evil in my mind. I hate it, bro. Been really sad lately, bro. Honestly, like always happy, always happy to be alive and shit, but just staring at the world, man, I've been really sad. A lot of shit been making me cry, man. Like it's tough, bro, because I just see, so much sadness, man. And then you see these people who have it all. I've been, at tables where we have $1,200 checks and we can pay it. And then I remember nights, where we used to have sleep for fucking dinner, and it's wild because it's like there's no reason we couldn't have just accepted that balance of having that medium and been good every day. I would have took that 10 times out of 10, bro. I always talk about I always tell you about how like my mom was so bad with money, bro. Like when we got money, bro, it was like we had such a good 2 or 3 days and then struggle, for 3 weeks. Like it was crazy, bro, because of that like capitalist mindset of like, oh, I'm going to buy these things that everybody else has that I always wanted because everybody else has it. So like we're going and we're buying this little things, bro. Like it sounds crazy to people, but it's shit that I was putting together in my head. Like we buy Land O'Lakes cheese, bro. And I'm like, Mom, why do we need, this is me at 10 years old, I'm like, Mom, we don't need Land O'Lakes cheese. It tastes better. But American regular cheese is literally a quarter of the price of Land O'Lakes cheese, And it sounds crazy, like talking about little things like that, but like that shit that stuck with me, bro. And I've always been like that all my life. Like you don't need these things that you think you want. That's why I stress like what makes you happy. That's why I stress that so much because people don't know it. Like you literally want these things that make other people happy. Or at least what other people tell you makes them happy, right? You want these things. You're like, oh, I want a Lamborghini. But you can have a Lamborghini and nowhere to go to, bro. Like you're so caught up in what makes other people happy. You never really stop for a second and say, really, what makes me smile every day? Really, what is it? Is it fucking, I don't even want to go with the cliche thing and say like painting, right? Or woodworking, whatever it is. Like, is it fucking petting my dog? Is it playing Candy Crush? Whatever the fuck it is, bro. If you sit down in that dark room with yourself and you really talk to yourself and you say, that makes me happy, then you should work to do that. And you should fucking do that every day. And because not everybody is going to be Alexander the Great, right? And not everybody is going to be a homeless bum on the corner, no matter what, bro. So everybody can't want a Lamborghini, bro. But we're in this world where everybody wants that Lamborghini. Everybody wants this fucking awesome thing. You don't even know if you like Lamborghinis. You know, it's just an example of many things. But you don't even know if you like marriage, buying a home. We've talked about it before, but you don't know if those things will make you happy.
In a different aspect, but like in some way relatable, in a relatable way. Now look at today where like, you see Prince Philip, died of the royal family, okay. You see a lot of people saying RIP and crap, cool, whatever. But like, do you really give a shit about the royal family, or it's because you've been told you give a shit about the royal family? Like, it's always been portrayed like this, like, this honored thing, this respected thing. Even as an American, you're just like, well, the Brits love it, so we love it. We love the royal family. They're awesome. We don't ever talk down on them. But like, no one actually gives a shit about the royal family.
People making posts about DMX.
Yeah.
Didn't make a post about their homeboy dying. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even saying a post is the way to do things, but it's just funny how people are.
I mean, like, for one, because like I think about like, when you think about consumerism, I mean, like, yeah, people think, I mean, some people do it because it makes other people, but like, it does come with like a hit of dopamine when you go cop that shit, bro. It comes with a hit of dopamine, a sense of satisfaction, a sense of, but like, you're like, I mean, like, it's a cliche, but they always say it. You're filling a void that you need something else there, but you're filling it with this mindless consumerism.
Bro, I'm not speaking like I've got it figured out, bro. I am the consumer. I am part of the cancer and part of the evil. But I think the first part is being aware of it. I got an iPhone.
100%.
I got a laptop that's hooked up on here on everything. I'm running on electricity.
TV's wall mounted.
Not saying that I'm Jesus here. But I know that there's a problem, bro.
Yeah.
I've talked to you many times about like the antidepressants. You got children on antidepressants, bro. Like
Ritalin, all that shit.
You top that with like war veteran PTSD, homelessness, schizophrenia, drug addiction. Like, we lost our souls, bro. We lost our souls, man. And we're just like, we sold our soul to the devil for all of these fancy things, bro.
And what does a purpose of a city serve other than economic wealth? Well, that's literally the only purpose cities serve
since the beginning that they came around.
That's literally the only reason. That's why they're cities.
That's the commercial hub.
Exactly. That's why they're cities. That's why the people there. Like, that's the only thing that's good at doing. But it's really good at destroying lives. It's really good at making mindless slaves. It's really good at fucking the environment. It's really good at all this shit, bro. Inducing overpopulation. You put a bunch of poor motherfuckers, scrounging for $1 in a drug-ridden city, and what are they gonna do? They're gonna fuck like crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like, it's just like, I mean, like, you saw huge population booms when you got these big cities going on, man. Like, it's just a recipe for everything that goes against what being a human is and like should be,
like, what do we do, man? Like, I don't know what else to do other than the ideas I've given you. It's like try and go get away from it.
Skyscraper. Well, I could actually pile a bunch of people working floor after floor after floor. How high can I go? How high can I go?
Clouds.
In fucking like in 1 acre, like
to the fucking clouds,
like,
bro.
Like how many people got fit in here? It's like
I fit so many people in here that they can't even use the steps anymore. I had to make another invention to take them.
Buying land outward is pretty expensive. Upward's free.
That's when you were like, who did Bezos talk to? I was thinking about what Bezos. I'm like, well, who the fuck did Maryland talk to when they purchased the land that they sold to Bezos? That's the guy that probably talked to Bezos,
Mm-hmm.
Hey, who the fuck? Where? How does that come to be, I really want to know, and I know you got some fancy explanation for me, but I know there was some dicks sucked and some dicks taken along the way of that route that you're not going to mention.
And this is the fucked up thing, man. Just like we talked that one time where we're talking about like evil innovating on both sides, bro. money and this whole power thing coming with it is like the evilest thing that's ever innovated and created, bro. Because like you said, like men can be bought. It's like, and when I can't sit here and trust your word because you can be bought. This is a deadly society now, man.
bro.
This is a deadly society where what you do, this is what you start creating. You start creating well, I'm about to get it on my own. It's like, oh my fucking God, bro.
Well, you shoot your brother in the head.
Power, slavery, like everything,
you
brother.
You shoot
like,
your brother in the head so you get the plug. Shit like that, bro.
Exactly,
Steal
man.
from your grandmother for crack.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Sell your uncle's fucking Xbox for dope. Suck a dick, bro, as a straight man. I told you, about my stories, bro. Like, not me, and my family, my pops.
I was
like,
on that corner, man.
Straight up, bro. Like, saddest day ever, bro. Like, even Brandon Novak talks about it. Patterson Park, $40, bro. A straight man selling his ass for dope.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable, bro. Suck the soul out of that boy.
Yeah.
And now he's sucking the soul out of some old man for dope.
And now we're talking about something that has such a deep grip on society. It just seems like it's delved so far into fucking chaos, bro, man.
Well, just think about for a second, bro, how we always talk about, like, how do I give you the most ultimate torture? And you always come to that point of like, yeah, fuck them. Now think about a man willingly doing that, bro. A straight man willingly doing that, bro. It's insane.
For a couple bucks for a drug.
For a drug, bro. Like, I mean, just think about what it would take. Like, think about anything I could take from you, right? Not being a drug addict. Anything is you right now, Stephen Baker. What could I possibly take from you for you to sell your ass for, bro? You know what I mean? Like, of course I could take away your food, but you like to think you could find food and shit like that, you know?
Water or some shit.
Yeah, like, I take away your water, like.
You would have to suck a dick to survive.
Would you sell your ass? What would it take, bro? The only way I could get you to sell your ass would be like if I came to you and was like, I'm going to kill your niece. Unless you don't let somebody fuck you, you know? Like, that's the only way. It'd be like, you'd have to die. Somebody would have to die, bro. There wouldn't be a thing on this planet. But somehow, there's this thing, so fucking evil, bro, that these people will stoop to that level. I mean, it's just insane, man. Mm-hmm. And I mean, selling your ass like that is the same thing as, as breaking into your grandmother's home, and stealing from your grandmother for dope, bro. That's selling your ass, basically. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're at the ultimate lowest. What could I possibly take from you that would make you steal from your grandmother to get?
To just betray your grandmother.
Nothing, bro, except for this fucking evil, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's just so sick because you just see these people that are just stuck in that. And like, man, growing, like, as I've gotten older, like, as I was younger, I used to have this hatred towards dope fiends, because my dad was one. I used to look at it like, man, fuck all of you, because I bet one of you, with my dad many a times, and I've seen how dope fiends act, it's, hey, where's the best dope, and it's like, I know you even help each other, it's like, I used to hate them, bro, and you get older and older, and you get to that point where you're like, man, like I just said, like, how hurt, bro, how desperate, how bad does it have to be for you to reach those levels?
I remember I knew somebody. I remember, his family was going through his phone, and it was one of his friends, and he's hitting him up, and he's just like, hey, what's up, man? You trying to get some? And it's just like, I don't even have any cash. He's like, well, I got 10, and we'll split it. It's just like, bring your boy down too with you, bro.
But that boy, Steve. Think about him, dog. How lost is he, Steve? Yeah. To be at 15, 16, 17 years old thinking about finding a way to get dope, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, how lost do you have to be?
And we're talking about grown dudes, though, yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever. What's a grown dude?
Yeah.
What's a grown dude?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
We've talked about it before, right? What's a grown dude? What were they, Steve?
What were 70 to 26, I think it's a lot of time.
What were those people? They were 26?
I mean,
those people were 26?
Yeah. Older,
But who's to say that a man can't cave too, right?
Oh, a man can cave,
right?
Bro. Yeah,
right. So to say that, like, okay, well, he was there for 26 years and he didn't use it, right? Let's say if it was, or 25 years, whatever it was, for 25 years, didn't use it. There wasn't something that kept him, he wasn't able to keep himself away from it. No matter if it was 50, it doesn't matter, bro. The fact that a man would go that low to be happy, That's why it goes back to what I'm saying. Like, people don't know what makes them happy, bro. So it's anything, to numb the reality of like
The
what it
emptiness, bro.
is, bro.
The emptiness, bro.
The emptiness, yeah, to
There's
fill
a
that
void.
void. It really
what
is,
really
bro.
makes you happy, bro?
Of
That's
what makes you
when
happy?
people
And
say
you're
that,
like, I don't know what makes me happy, but this feels good,
yeah,
right? Like, this
you
feels
feel
good.
good in new clothes. You feel good playing that new game that you wanted to play. You feel good with that new phone in your pocket until you get a month down the line. You don't even fucking remember what type of phone you got for a split second. All you know, it's an iPhone. This is number what? Okay, it's a phone, iPhone, whatever. And then like you just get to that. You just keep going and shoving shit in there, whether it be false relationships, sex, drugs, alcohol. I don't know why I separated the two. Mindless, food addiction, whatever the case may be. Because you're just looking for that thing that makes you happy. Then when you find this one thing that does give you happy, you cling on to that because that's your only source of happiness, and you keep going back to that one source.
And that's where
no matter what it is.
The argument to you, lately, where like I am realizing, like, bro, well, that's where like religion, it does make a point, right? Of like, just like, they wrote the, Declaration of Independence. Let's say if, you looked at that like a moral code, right? So when you think about something like pornography, bro, like Pornhub, bro, we love, online pornography. It's just true. Every man does, bro.
Mhm.
Every boy does. But ideally, that shouldn't exist, bro.
No.
It just shouldn't at all. There shouldn't even be one video of that.
Nope.
That anybody can access at any time on a web. And that's crazy. That's crazy because we all
addiction,
love
bro.
it.
Yeah.
But the evil that's behind that. And that's what I'm saying.
100%.
That's where you get where like, okay, when we were talking to our friend, and I'm like, you say you can't jerk off, bro? Like, well, it's like, well, that comes with it, that's an inherited because you can't control it. It's like, well, wait. Yeah.
I mean, I can't control it.
I
Speak for yourself.
I can control it.
Speak for yourself.
Okay.
You're waiting for him to leave to squeeze it off right now.
It's crazy.
You get up, let him out the door. You just ride.
but because how accessible that is, bro, and how like you can easily.
Well, that's just one pleasure button you could do, bro. That's just one pleasure button you got. You know what I'm saying?
That's another addiction.
And with the other, 100%, bro. Porn is a heavy addiction, bro. And I mean, like, when we're talking about things like this, these pleasure buttons that we keep pressing, whatever you want to name, it fucks with your psyche, bro. It fucks with your mental, your overall health is your whole being. I mean, like, they say when you watch porn, like, it literally rewires your brain when you're just like, when you're looking at this thing and then you're fucking hitting this button to it and it's just just like,
yeah.
And then this is where you see dudes where like you would grow up, everyone grows up a little bit, they get a little older, they start having sex, or it's like, yeah. I didn't even know what I was doing, dog.
Yeah,
like, I thought I was gonna get on top of that bitch and start dropping dick, but like the footing was like I kept slipping. I kept slipping. She told me to take my socks off. Like
I'm just thinking about like it's one of them things where like because it's there, it does alter things, right?
Yeah.
Like it does alter your mind, your perception of sex, your perception of a lot of things, right? Where like I don't want to say that everybody shouldn't be their self and like what makes you happy does what make you happy, even sexually. But there does come a point where like, even with dope, like, okay, if you didn't know it existed, then you wouldn't even be able to do it. Right.
Yeah.
Like when you get to this point of like, okay, well, there's people that search rape scenes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, that is the thing. There is people that search underage teen, shit like that, bro. There's people that, go to the deep dark web for that shit.
Yeah, bro. No.
The fact that that's accessible, though, right? It's like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like that shouldn't even be accessible.
I told you,
and
bro.
If it comes to the point, I know,
I told you.
We've talked about it. But if it comes to the point where that's even accessible, it should just be eliminated as a whole, in my idea. Like you shouldn't monitor that. It's like, whoa. We created this thing and it became like this evil. We can see which way people will use this tool, and it will be for evil. Yeah. And it doesn't matter if it's 90% good and 10% evil, like the evils that are on some of those things, it shouldn't be allowed.
Well, this is the other crazy thing, it's like, at this point, in the world we're living in, it's so interconnected, the internet, being like an actual physical structure, of broadband cables, FiOS, and all those types of things. They're so easily accessible, and at one point once you're in, and I mean, like, anyone can get in, bro. And anyone can literally get in. Internet's not one of those things where it's like people view it as like, well, people are doing this thing where, like, it's like, well, everyone has a right to the internet because it's such a fucking powerful tool. So we're so interconnected where anyone, I mean, even if, as long as the internet exists, there's gonna be that dark web there, bro. 'Cause anyone can fucking get into it, bro. Anyone can become part of this. It's a literally hardwired network. Like, anyone can fucking get into it, bro.
Do we have to eliminate the internet?
As soon as I put a fucking, I could go, like, literally, as soon as I put a cable into your outlet anywhere, I could immediately, and then you have the VPNs, where you can literally, hide your IP address and it will look like you're connecting from Switzerland or some shit. You shoot it through a couple different, IP addresses and different points throughout the earth. Next thing you know, it's untraceable. And now you just have this dark web thing of, like, where people transfer literally gigabytes, terabytes of child pornography.
So are you saying that we just have to eliminate the internet?
You would have to eliminate the internet.
It's great. All of its greatness is the same as its evils, right? I mean, people, even on us, I mean, we can go on and on, right? On the side of that, people look up bomb instructions.
Yeah.
People look up, you can sign up for ISIS online.
And I mean, one of the things, like, you spend all the time thinking, like, how great it is. You never really think about, like, if you should, or like if this thing should even exist. It's like, well, look at all the great things internet has brought us. Well, like, it's like people are like sitting there just like, well, what do I do with it? Like, nowadays with the internet, like, I would have to go to the library and read a book to do my book report. But nowadays you just get on the internet where it's like, well, yes, it's cool, this is good and all. I have so much information accessible, but, like, should it be this way? Like, especially with what comes with it, with the dark web, the pornography, the hacking, the just whatever. Should this be a thing?
Right, because like we talked about, like, with, like,
should exist,
ancient times, or even past times, you knew the knowledge of your tribe, of your city, of your village, right?
Yeah.
And then, but you did have books and paintings to represent world culture,
and
right?
That's the thing.
You would have a scholar.
Exactly.
If you chose to pursue that, you could do something like that.
And that's what
when you got
a scholar
10-year-old that can get on Pornhub.
Like, I mean, like, you're literally talking about a dude where, like, you find this foreign guy, you bring him to the king. What else do you do when you find someone that you didn't even know existed? You bring him to the king. He looks different. Scholar's just like, who the fuck is this? The king's just like, who's this? He starts speaking some language you never heard. Scholar comes in. There's the ancient Yiddish language. I've read tales of it, but I've never heard it. And it's like, just like, they're just like,
beautiful.
It was just fucking, it was something, like, powerful, and, like, something that, like, like, you would go out, people would seek their lifetime to go out and find this knowledge, to find, like, all these, like, foreign things, exactly, exactly, it's like, why, what's so bad about going to the library? They got a bunch of books. I mean, like,
not only that, but isn't there just something to say, like, why do you have to know the entire world?
Yeah.
Like, why is that crazy to say, right?
Exactly.
Like, why do you need to know everything that's going on in the world? Like, if you lived, your life per day, you'd probably know your state, you know your range, basically.
Yeah.
But you probably wouldn't even know, like, what's going on in Cali.
But I mean, you knew your native plants, you knew your water systems, you knew the back trails.
Now people got more foreign knowledge than they do.
You knew where
homestead knowledge.
Yeah, you knew where the fucking, where the animals roamed or where the predators were.
None of us know what berries to eat.
Exactly. We don't even know. We couldn't even name really a native plant. That ranges from, like, something edible to something medicinal to what type of trees even grow in the region. It's like, I'm sitting here thinking about, like, you go build a house, but it's like, does that state even have oak in that bitch? Like, can I build an oak cabin? Like,
but it is funny how, like, spruce? You see, like, at this point though, like, people are kind of going backwards, bro. Like, with the tiny home, off, or homestead, off
minimalist,
minimalist,
small,
whatever it is. Like, people are like, what? Like, people see what we see, bro. They do. A lot of people see it. They just, like, it's hard to act on it, sometimes, especially like I was thinking about that, like, with our friend yesterday. I was like, well, like, seeing that environment, I was like, yeah, you would try and have marriage and, like, have a kid, because, like, you see success. Like, you seen, like, your mother and father and your aunt and your uncle do it successfully, and, like, they were good to you.
Yeah.
And that worked for them. And, you like that lifestyle. So, like, I understand why you would look at these decisions like, like they make sense. But for other people, like that scene that we seen last night, like I've never seen that scene, bro, in my family. Like I've never even seen that
Yeah.
much people together, bro. Like I
Yeah.
have 20 people, like that's crazy. We used to have
Mm.
like 5 people,
It's
and
all
there'd
your
be a fight.
family.
And
It's
there'd
all
be
your family.
fight at the end if everybody was drunk,
Yeah,
bro.
exactly. Yeah.
Every single
Yeah.
time, like
Yep.
crazy, dude. And I'm just like, look at that. I'm like, I do want that. Like I do want that in life. Like it's weird because like I do want a family, right? Like, I do want a family, but like it's like it's kind of late on my checklist. It really is. Like I do like I believe that I should bring a family into the world and like I should have a family. But like right now, I've been right, bro. That's all I can really say. I've been right a lot in my life. And so far, I've been told that that should be pushed back. And that's one thing, like with women, they have a real period where like they say it gets dangerous afterwards. But like for a man, bro, it's like we go deep. We go 50s, 60s still being able to have children. Not saying you should, but I'm just saying like the option is always there.
Yeah.
The guys I work for now, like their father, bro, they came here from Jordan. Their father came here and learned glazing, bro. And then look at them, second generation, like starting something, like was able to give them something. I've learned the trade. I'm now purchasing a home, like. I'm setting my stones of like what I was never given, Be like,
Yeah.
look, I can really give you something in this world where like you're not gonna have to waste all this time getting to this fucking balance point to where you can finally say like what makes me happy and what's my dreams. Like I'm gonna cover that shit for you. I'm gonna give you something that you can take with you. I'm gonna give you something you can live in. I'm gonna teach you how to feed yourself. And like from there, you got so much more than I got. Like you gotta do something, like whatever, and just do what makes you happy,
Yeah.
like if you want to sell all this and travel the world, use the fucking 160K and have fun, bro. Like I couldn't imagine producing anything, with a heartbeat and like not being able to make it happy,
Yeah.
and people think they can, like you think that like your love will make a child happy. But at the end of the day, like a child's only going to be happy, in an abandoned building with you giving it ultimate love for a certain amount of time before he goes, why are we like this? We can do more things, So I feel like I'm already steps ahead of where I was born at, So I'm also not a drug addict, I'm able to do these things. I'm going to keep improving, and I think that the time will come. And I do want to bring some people into this world, which is weird, right? It's like weird that we can do that. It's weird that like I don't feel like I should have that power to like bring someone in the world
all the time, bro. I'm
like
just
that's so weird, right?
The fact that it's just so easy.
I know.
To just bring something.
All I have to do is make one decision, like tonight.
Exactly.
And literally change the course of like history. I could change the course of history literally tonight. It's crazy. It's crazy thinking about that.
And then you also live in a side where like there's so many laws like pertaining to like this baby, where it's just like it's like, oh well, once you bring it in, it's like there's no abandoning it, because then at that point it's like we could go to fucking jail. It's like it's just stuck with you, and it's even law binding. It's law binding for you to keep it. It has SSN. It has an SSN, bro.
Take money out of my paycheck.
It's really like a contract now. It's like
they have a social security card within like that first year.
They didn't know he's existing right now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how crazy would it be if like I did start? I bought those 100 acres, right? And I fucking planted my house right in the middle, and like I got my wife pregnant, and she had a child, and I didn't tell nobody. Why, would that be crazy?
That'd be crazy. I don't know. It just seems wild. I'm just like, what happens? Well, I guess he just doesn't exist, But
you have a child, right? You have a child at home.
Yeah.
And you have a home birth, which is totally normal. Like people still do that all the time. Dummies do that.
Yeah.
So you have a home birth, you take care of that. And then like, you have this child, you don't tell anyone, and you homeschool them, on this land.
Yeah.
I mean, at what point, like, let's say I take him into town. I take my boy into town. He's 6 or something. I finally take him into the city. He's walking around like someone's like, oh, he's got a boy. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, you gonna follow up and see if like my boy's got a social?
No one's gonna fucking know, bro. It doesn't matter too. Like you're like 18, they expect you to get like your own shit, and you're just like, well, what's your SSN? It's just like, well, fuck. That's the only thing. But like
he goes to 18, like he wants to travel, or she wants to travel, wants to go to like Japan or some shit, and it's like you can't get on a plane.
The UK doesn't fucking. Yeah, it's true. You can't get on a fucking plane.
A fucking ID.
I mean, people get to other countries somehow.
Can't drive legally.
People
without a fucking
exactly, man. You
license,
can't buy a car. You can't buy a car, get insurance or anything.
Yeah, that's
you know,
what
it's
Marilyn
like,
Manson targeted.
you know?
People with licenses, man. That's crucial.
Yeah.
Keep people off grid. They already had the license.
Yeah, exactly. It's
So
like,
all right, you're good to go. That's why that guy texted. That's why he drove that day. Because he was one with a license. That's the only reason. The guy that drove them to that house.
Yeah.
Learned a lot. Learned more about Manson.
Yeah, did you?
Lessen my mood towards him, but yeah.
I mean,
still never killed anyone, bro. But I did learn that he went back to a house and did like some witchcraft shit to try to make it look like, Helter Skelter after the murder because they didn't do enough.
Yeah.
So I did learn that. Didn't know that. So
I mean,
once again, I was speaking, strongly on something that I didn't really know fully.
I mean,
I'll probably always do that.
I mean, you're down that hill, bro. It's like, this is the hill I down over here. Okay,
I'm right here, right now, today, and I will fucking, debate fucking Jordan Peterson.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing. Like when you feel strongly about something, or just like when you form an opinion, we as people form opinions on things, and how we think about it and how we think about it in terms of society and the repercussions of some type of thing. And we make a judgment call on it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're not the most informative, exactly. We like to talk about shit.
Right?
We like have nothing to talk about if it was just about shit that we absolutely knew was 100% true.
Right.
I mean, come on, half the shit we talk about is 100%.
Shit that we have to do, we wouldn't even talk about, right? Let's say we did live in a village, every morning I had to be 7 o'clock. You fucking pick blueberries every day, right? That's your fucking job.
Exactly.
And I'm like, Steve, get on the blueberries. It's like, shut the fuck up. I knew I gotta pick the fucking blueberry. You know what I mean? So you're just talking about sports and trade rock.
I have my basket.
And I'm gonna just talk about what I know on that subject. You see, guys, that's why I told you so many times. It makes me mad with guys like Rodney. It's I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm just talking. I know I'm not right. I know I didn't watch it. I know I didn't watch it. And I know I never read it. But we're just talking. I'm just gonna talk some shit.
We're talking.
See if it's right.
And I mean, there are things that you just have to think about on the spot. I mean, when you're talking sports, that's not something you do because you can't just make up sports shit. You know what I'm saying? It's oh, look at fucking Chase Young. He's on the Tiger. He's on the fucking Detroit Tigers now. He's just chilling playing baseball. It's you can't just make shit up like that and talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can speculate and talk about a lot of different things.
Right.
And you don't need to be the most informed on them, But when you talk about shit where
especially you're talking about things nobody really knows the answer to.
Yeah,
like black holes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, I can just talk some shit about black holes because nobody fucking knows.
Exactly. No one fucking knows that. At this point, you're speculating. That's what's called theory.
Dimensions.
Theory, okay?
Here's my theory, bitch.
You got numbers, but I mean, that still doesn't explain what the fuck it does. You know what I'm saying? Equation doesn't explain shit. You still have to then articulate that into a layman's terms to somebody to be like.
Well, don't they say all science is just scientific theory, right?
Well, I mean,
no science is real science, right? I'm saying not real science, but no science can ever be 100% true, right? Just if you say you know how they say when you watch certain things, it grows differently, right? They've shown that before.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
That type of shit. That's
There's
crazy.
a quantum state type of deal going on.
Crazy, right? Yeah. That's crazy, right? So you showed me this thing. So you showed me this thing, and you're like, okay, well, this is gonna grow. It's all right. Well, I see it. It's it's gonna grow out like this. But now that I'm watching it, it grows differently.
I mean,
I did 1,000 theories of me watching this thing and burning it, and I seen what it did. But the moment that I burn it and don't look,
and you know what backs it up is that they say that everyone perceives time differently. So and that's connected to your physical being. So if I wear a watch, you wear a watch, we're gonna know with different times. Is that because our watches are incorrect? I mean, if we kept them in line, at all times, they would always fall out of sync with each other. They would never because we experience it differently. It's a theory, but that would also explain why if I sit there and watch something, well, now we're gonna experience time differently than if we're apart.
That could also be
experiencing time differently.
Just to clear that up, right? It could also just be the watch.
It could also just be the watch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And
but
also, that would be a fucking super good watch, and you have to wear it all the time, or at least keep it for 80 years, or whatever it is. And then it's okay, it's 6 milliseconds off of yours.
Well, this is the thing, bro. If you think about the
whole change the battery,
the whole measurement of time,
how do you
of
change
course,
the battery without the clock stopping?
The whole thing with time. The whole solar powered. The whole thing with time though is that it's a the measurement of it is a completely fabricated thing.
Right.
There's no such thing as an actual second
or
in,
minute, day.
it was just like we just counted it out. We're just like, all right, 1 second, 2
go
seconds,
around
3
the
seconds,
sun every 365
days, but
these,
whatever.
and these are consistent of these, and these and these, and that makes one of these.
So I mean, like at one point, I'm sure someone were just like, "What time is it?" And it's like, my watch stopped. It was 8:55. It's just like, what I'm saying. It's like it was just 8:52. It could have been like 4 minutes tops since we last looked at it. It's 8:55.
That's so weird.
It's just like
that's so fucking weird. Yeah, you're right. It's like now that we're thinking about it, and now like I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about like, okay, well, what if watches didn't exist, right? And like we had to ask ourselves that question, right? Where it's like, what the fuck did you look at the sun, right? Like I thought that I could think. Look
the
at
closest thing that you have.
What's that? Okay, but it's like, but how do I explain to you how much time lapsed, right? I'm like, all right, bro. So you remember when we were doing the corn? The sun was like right there, like at 3 like I can't say exactly. I can't. The sun was like at like 3 p.m. Well, no.
That many times.
It was like that big off of that mountain, and now it's like 5.
Exactly. I mean,
like, so it's like my pinky in this morning.
Exactly. I mean, like the closest thing you had was like a sundial, but like that was only specific points of like the time. And I mean, like, and if you talk to a village person in like, and who was in like Alaska and shit, and they were like, well, our day lasted like, it seemed like this long. It was like, well, I had sunlight for 18 hours. It's just like that was one day. Just because the sun was up. It's like,
Well, first of all, I just want to say that you got me thinking a lot about this because I like to do shit like this. Where I'm always like the pointing thing. That's what makes me think about. Like, okay, well, if there was no clock and we were in a village, how would I explain to Steven how much time lapsed from the time that he's asking? Right? Like that's a super hard question.
Yeah, it's super tough for you
because it's like you're asking me. You're like. You wouldn't even say what time it is, bro, if there didn't exist something like that. Dude. We got too smart. We started inventing like
I don't even I was thinking I'm just like, okay, we could be like, well, it was.
But how do you know like how long to bake bread?
That's what I'm saying. Well, when it's done, what I mean? Like that's not a time thing. It's just when it's done. It's like it's what I'm saying? Like, no one put in a timer. We're just like, okay, you bake it for 7 minutes. They were just like, okay, you put it in, you watch it,
But when you were saying
see that golden brown, you pull it out.
Well, you're saying that Alaska thing, I'm sitting there thinking about like, well, days are different depending on what you lived
or what you think what a day is.
Well, what you did that day. Let's just say if you were saying it's 24 hours, right? Well, like I woke up and I went to work and like I was working all day, right? And next thing I know, I looked at the clock and it was 4 p.m. And I was like, oh, shit, I'm off work. You took off today and you're at home and you're playing the game, you got some food and, you jerked off and it's 9:30. It's like
I don't even understand.
Say time. They really say like time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah,
like it really is true. Like next thing you know, you're just euphoric, and next thing you know, it's nighttime.
And then you meet up with your dude, and now it's going slow.
But you're having a bad day, right? Or like you keep like you've worked at everybody's
dragging.
Job where, like,
it's dragging.
You're just like I just looked at that fucking clock an hour ago. It was 3:10. Now it's 3:15.
And then like, I'm just like, man, this day's so long. And your coworker's just like, it's been moving pretty fast for me. You're just like. It's like come on, like, and then I'm thinking about like what if, like what you were saying with the village was like how long ago is like it's like when do we go hunting? It's like
in the morning
after sunrise, but like not immediately after sunrise. Like you wait a little while after sunrise,
right?
Like, what I'm saying? Like that'd be your own
everything
time
would
increment.
Be feeling.
It'd be like morning. They'd be like.
It's like it's 4 hours
when the
right?
sun's brightest. When the sun's brightest, like it's like, it's just like I don't know. It's like, and then you're just like, whoa, I forgot how late am I? It's like, whoa.
You know what? You just gotta go off of You just gotta go off of the two things that right? You're just like we hunt when the sun comes up. We're gonna go to war when the sun goes down. Like things we all know, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We all know that thing when it goes down. We're doing it.
Be ready.
I got
be ready.
And imagine if I was like when that thing's like this far off of that mountain.
And just like at night and in the morning, like when it's just like when it's a little bit light out, it's getting ready to be time.
Yes.
It's like it's that's like when you get ready.
Yeah. But later in the day, right? Later in the day when there's a little bit of sun,
nothing but the first guy to drop that. Be like, well, I get my armies, after sun up, and just like
the fuck
when when it's just a little bit of light out, but like the sun's not up. That's when we get up, and there's like,
that's when it's like, what the fuck's the
we
sun?
Still sleep, like. The bright suit. Okay.
Or that fucking demon god, bro. We don't even go out when that thing's out. Bro, I don't fucking trust that thing.
Burns.
What the fuck is that? That's when you really start thinking, like, now that we're really on the most basic of shit, where you're just like, big ass flaming ball, we all accept. You know, it's like, okay, I know you can burn me, but don't burn me too much.
And that's like, you know, like one of the things
you
that
can kill me if you don't give me enough or too much.
One of the things that they say, like, you know, is that, like, you know, religion's like one of the first form of like science, so to say. You know what I mean? Like, even though, like, you know, it's in its own separate category, but like, you know, when you're in the beginning, you know, as a human, you know, even though it's incorrect, just like we've been incorrect in science before, you're trying to explain things, you're trying to explain the world. And this bright thing in the sky being an all-powerful being, I mean, like, I'm hot.
Yeah.
And I get cold at night.
Oh, and that really brings you your food.
You know? Exactly.
It brings
you know?
the flowers. It
Yeah.
brings the trees. It does everything, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It makes the cold water warm to swim in.
I was just like,
Little things that are just blessings.
that's God. You know
Sun
what I'm saying?
God.
It's like
Sun
someone
God.
just like, look,
If any God.
I don't know what it is, but all I know is I'm just gonna ask for it to be gracious to me or something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're just like, please let my shit grow. Please let the pool be warm. You know?
And then that's when you come into like the perception thing we're talking about there, right? Because you have someone in Alaska that's just like, yeah, I wish that, I don't know what the fuck that thing is, but I wish it'd come out more. You
Yeah.
know? And then you got someone in Africa that's just like, that thing never fucking goes away.
Is it brighter elsewhere? Like,
Which would make you love the sun god, but
It's so
sun
cold
god's
here.
demon to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They just
It's
call
like,
out this bitch. He don't exist.
yeah, he don't exist. You know, when he comes out, it actually fucks up what we got going
This
on.
is why
because we're
This
in
is why
habitat.
we pray to the ocean, because no matter that sun out or if it's dark, we're getting our food from the ocean.
But
you know?
that's what I was so frustrated about, like with that town, though. You know, it's like the same thing when they talk about like that town in Alaska where like it's no light for 40 days.
Yeah.
Y'all got planes now, bro. Like you do not have to live there. Like you do
People-
not have to live there.
People
Do
live there forever, bro.
you like
know?
it? If you
You
like it, if it
Well, I
makes you
mean,
happy.
now
All I'm
think-
saying is like, don't be bitching. There's not 40 days. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and you got a plane.
I don't think they care. I think everyone else cares. They're just like, wait, it's only 40 days on the bitch, and we're just like, oh my god. Where they're just like, yeah, it's not that big a deal. You know,
Right.
it's whatever.
11 months
You
of
know,
sun.
I'm just living up
It's
here.
kinda
You know what I'm
nice.
saying? It's everyone else who's just like, hey, did you know that in Alaska there's only sun for like 2 hours? You know what I'm saying? It's like, and everyone else that's
And
like,
Marilyn Manson
and
lived
to
this
them,
way.
they're like, that's the least interesting thing about this place. You know, it's like,
I killed a water buffalo or some shit.
You know what I'm
what I
saying?
mean?
Like you got your ice chest. So we're like, ice chest. It's like, yeah, you dig a hole in the ground to the permafrost. That's your ice chest, your freezer. It's like-
Enough about that, Eskimo. When's the nighttime?
I'm trying to go swimming. Okay, this is I mean, like, I don't know, man. Like people like have created some crazy ass things. You know what I'm saying? And like the origin stories, like I mean, like when you talk about people who did like mushrooms or something. I mean, like there's weird like just like I'm sure there's been like so many weird, crazy, coincidental, just odd things that have just gone throughout the world to shift us in this weird direction that like we've kind of gone into. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're like, maybe like the first guy to just like put a seed in the ground was just like.
That's
You know?
crazy, right?
And they show someone else. They're just like,
It's hard to show somebody else that, right? You're
Oh,
like, stay
yeah.
here for 6 months. This thing's gonna produce
Give it
something
water.
you can eat.
give it water that like you need to drink, but give it some water, like, and hope it rains.
Give it my drinking
Hope it
water.
rains.
No.
And if it doesn't rain, you gotta give your drinking water up. Like,
I walked 5 miles for this drinking water.
and in 6 months, you got 1 corn.
You're welcome. Grill it. You don't know what grilling is.
Look, I left
Stay
this.
here for 12
Look,
hours.
I left this milk in my camel pouch for way too long and turned it to the butter. So we put that on that, okay?
Suck that.
Like,
net.
I
Suck,
just like this
listen,
such.
I know this is gonna be. This is gonna sound crazy.
Mm-mm.
Suck that cow's titty.
I mean, just
dude, listen. Last night I was drunk. I came out here. I sucked this cow's titty, and I swear to God, it
just
was the best thing I ever had. You
just
know?
to even grow, like, just to even like slice into a fruit. Like, someone saw a pineapple and was just like, you know, just like,
That's when you're hungry,
you know,
right?
I was like,
You
yeah,
start opening
yeah, you
shit.
start doing whatever. It's like, can I eat
It's
this?
crazy that we've never
Can I
even
eat this?
known that kind of hunger. You've
Yeah.
never even known like dehydration, really.
You think you've been hungry,
Right? You think you've been dehydrated?
Yeah.
Like you don't know what dehydration is.
And that's why I think, like, did they like eat a meal? Then like 2 hours later, they were just like, I I don't have nothing till tomorrow till we go hunting again.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, or like,
I think when they ate, they ate.
Or like, did they like? Was that even a feeling? You know, is what I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying? Was that even a feeling?
Well, your stomach
You know?
adjusts, right? Like I'm sure they weren't on a 2,000 calorie diet.
But I don't think they were like 2 hours later. They were just like, oh, my tummy. You know, it's just like it's rumbling. You know, and I think they were like, I think they ran differently. They didn't start rumbling after 2 hours because I think what they probably ate was
saying,
like some like real substance, bro. Like there was some real substance.
But you know, your stomach can adapt to like when you eat. Like you know, your stomach gets hungry when you usually eat every day.
Then you're talking about like probably like peak natural gut biome type of thing going on. You know what I'm saying? Where like you didn't even feel that hunger, bro, or some shit, bro. You probably had some like coating in there, coating in there, where you were just like, man, I'm
native gluteus.
I'm good till tomorrow, bro. I'm saying we're straight good till tomorrow. You know, I had some grass. I had a little bit of mutton. You know, I had one leg of mutton, and I'm good to go.
Just throw it all.
You know,
like, shit ain't the grass.
You got the worst, bloodiest shits. It was like peak health.
But it would all matter what someone told you, though, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like if the chief comes to you and he's like, "There should be blood in your shit," and you're just like,
I got so much blood in my shit.
Porcupine.
It's like, am I holy? I have so much blood in my shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're holy.
And it was just like medicine.
That's what it's crazy, bro. It's crazy how our minds work like that. Like you literally do only know what you know, bro. Like if I have a child right now, right, and I put him on one of them 150 acres and I raise him up to be an assassin, he would think that wherever I drop him off at, he's got bodies to catch. He would know nothing else unless I showed him something else.
That's why I think like there's really something to like I remember like when we were at that church and we were kneeling, you know, I remember I was on one knee at first and I got down on two knees, and I mean like it just feels different, bro. Like when you like kind of like put yourself in like a vulnerable position, I think that might be what it is. Like like you can step down your knees, like that's a vulnerable position. That's something that like people like prisoners of war would get put into. Like
like the Pope kisses feet.
You know,
right? Like it's like shit, it's like that type of thing. I feel like,
you know,
man.
it's like offering yourself up to the vulnerability of like universe at that moment, and you're just like,
I
don't know.
It's like I'm no better than you type of
exactly.
thing.
You know, it's just like I don't know, like
I'm at your mercy.
Exactly.
I don't know what to say.
I'm just thinking like, what is that? I'm sure people did that like all throughout time. You know, just like knelt before something, and we're just like, please,
the sun, right? Like,
or just looking anywhere,
like rain, something.
There's like something out there, please. Like, I don't fucking know, man. There's something to it, though, man. Definitely something to it, bro.
Wow, that we got here. It's like what?
You're wearing a fucking bucket hat,
we got
bro.
To the, we got to the point where we invented shit.
Got a hoodie on,
and
man. Like,
we are to the point where we are now canceling shit we created.
Man.
Like we literally are deleting shit we created, man, because we're just like, fuck, you know, damn. That was fucked up.
Yeah.
You know? Like they're tearing down a statue.
Yeah.
They're tearing down statues. They weren't even alive.
And the way.
But dude, your grandfather wasn't even in the war, you know? Like, dude, your family got here like 50 years ago. Like, you know, and you just tore down the Columbus statue.
You got comic art, like book art, like a comic artist, like probably like in like the 90s, was just like, man, the way I used to draw those black dudes, like, you know, just like the way I used to draw them.
They're talking about like canceling
like
Pet Detective
everything.
and shit.
Yeah, all of it, bro. And shit. Like, I love this shit, bro.
For some transphobic shit.
Yeah, they have a lot.
What do we do, bro?
I don't think
what
you cancel it, you know?
What line are you standing on?
I don't think you cancel it, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, like...
It is what it is.
You have to acknowledge that it happened, and then acknowledge for what it is, you know, and for what that time period held.
And
but
he's like, I was wrong.
You know?
I was wrong.
No one's making that nowadays. You know, everyone's very careful about their shit nowadays. You know, but, like, I mean, you're looking at a time of, like, you know, human culture. It's like a... Are we going to go back in time and we're going to scrutinize everything that, like, humans did throughout time? I mean, like, everyone's like, samurais are cool, but, like, what people did in feudalism with like serfs and lords was ridiculous.
Right,
and,
it was like Romans.
I remember
Romans raped kids and used democracy.
I've heard the story, but like there was like two kings. Like there was like a bastard king, and then there was like another king, and they were both fighting over who got their father's throne. And I remember like they were just like talking about like, you know, once like, you know, the bastard king won the throne, or like he brought in like a new age of like feudalism, and then 90% of the population was owned by someone they had no choice of like who owned them. They had a lord. It was serfs and lords, like people who served the lords. It was just like You know, like it was just like
Like-
everyone
like
loves
how India
samurais
and shit
and
is,
knights
yeah.
are really fucking cool, and then they're just like, whoa,
Class system,
what
right?
exactly?
Class
What
system.
the whole thing was like that created it was
Dude,
just
you
like
should,
fucked up, you know? It's
the
like,
guys at my work, man, they put me on with this movie called White Tiger on Netflix.
yeah,
And it's one of them, like, you know, low budget indie film type of thing, bro. But it actually does a great job of like showing you how India is and why it's like how it is. And I had no idea, dude. I was literally
yeah.
completely naive.
I know a little bit about the caste system, but that's about it.
So they're completely based on the
Yep.
caste system,
Mhm.
bro.
And
Where straight up, like, your name makes you a lord and your name makes you a servant.
and
And these people are servants, bro, for like 40 cents.
and not only that, but
Free.
they like literally they had a skin color based class system. You know, they literally had that. Like that still affects them to this day.
Yeah.
That's where you get Aryans from,
Crazy.
because I believe the highest one was like the Aryans, which were the lightest skin, and the Brahmins, which were like, you know, the most
Ugh.
fairest skin. And then they had like I forgot the rest of the names, but like they have like 5 or 6 different ones, and there was ones like they were called like untouchables pretty much because they were just so dark skinned. It was just it's like another place where like the idea of like white supremacy was like prevalent, you know, where it's just like, man, like this is a pretty big thing in the world where like so like, you know what I'm saying, like do we just cancel white people now? It's just like
Yeah.
you know, just like you cancel all of every you know white person's culture because it's all rooted in bigotry and racism at some point.
I agree with
you
this.
know?
Like, take it, but like, what about with the statues though? Like, that is kind of tough.
Oh,
that,
yeah,
like, you're
yeah.
honoring it, right? Like, it is
Yeah.
being honored.
Well, I mean, like I think if anyone like kind of like looked into like what was like let's I think you're talking about like the Confederate ones, you know,
Yeah,
for
but
instance.
they've knocked a
Yeah.
lot. They've done
Yeah,
Columbus.
I think so. Like when you look
put
at
it in a museum.
when you look at especially like the Confederate part though, where it's like, you know, with that, yeah, you know, there's a part of like the Southern's history, but like when you're memorializing it in, like a state capitol or anything like that type of nature, I think it's, like that's not where it belongs. Put it in a museum if you want it
Right.
enshrined in like, you know,
Yeah.
history and time, because that's where it belongs. You know what I'm saying? I would even concede to be like, okay, we'll get rid of the Union ones too. You know, because like
Right.
they just wanted a unified country rather than,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
put it
It's
in a
like,
museum.
yeah, you know, put it in a museum. You know, it's Christopher Columbus, put it in a museum. You know, at
These are
one point,
stupid.
we did idolize that guy, and
Why
then
can't we
came
just
to our
say
senses,
we were dumb? Why can't we say
Exactly.
we fucked up?
and we're continually going to get smarter and keep looking back and be like, hey, that was dumb. Like you don't
We fucked up.
you don't bury it, you know.
But the more that you do this pushback of like cancel, bro, you're gonna hit a wall. You're gonna hit a point where people just start going like, bleep, 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 fuck you, you know, bleep,
Yeah.
bleep, 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 suck my dick and mind your own fucking business, man. You're gonna create these type of people that are just like, the anarchy is saying whatever the fuck I want to say, you know, like.
Mhm.
You already see it with comedians and shit. You know, Joe Rogan, they give him praise for that. Bill Burr, Andrew Schultz, like they praise people that just say whatever they want, you know?
Mhm.
That's kind of like the one people in the world where it's like, yeah, that makes you cool. You know, like say some fucked up shit.
Until they get canceled. You know?
Ha!
Until they get
But
canceled.
we all think it's funny.
you know, yeah.
That's the crazy part, right?
Yeah.
We're all like, that's true. You know, it's weird, but we're like, that's fucked up. That's fucked up and funny.
But hilarious, okay? But I mean, like, I think, you know, what, like, when you look at comedian, you know, especially like nowadays, you know, I mean, like, yeah, you know, people like, you know, especially when you look at someone like Schultz, you see a lot of, you know, like crowd work and back and forth. But I mean, like, a lot of it has taken like that like, you know, political stance, and really a lot of the comedy we see nowadays derives from painting reality in a very like, you know, real, relatable and like, you know, way. And you're just like, it's fucking true, man. We
Yeah.
do fucking look at it like that.
That's the best.
And they're just
best
saying
kind.
it as like, you know, like as like straight up as possible without adding all this like bullshit like verbiage and words around it, to where you're just like, well, that sounds intelligent, but this is fucking funny. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like someone could say the same thing in an intelligent way, I'd just be like, okay. You know, I get it.
Glad
though,
you
know?
said that, because
You
I
know?
was so frustrated about like, there's something that has just been driving me crazy, bro, right? And it's the fact that you can look up any big word, right? And the definition is a smaller word, right? So it's kind of crazy how like you're describing these things. Like, you ever notice how like people use a fancy word
Yeah.
and then they're right away they're say what the word meant in basic way. Like, I don't know if you ever noticed that, but pay attention. A lot of people do it. You know, there's like, we were in there, shit got crazy. It was pandemonium, and then it was mass confusion as we was leaving. It's like they said exactly what it was basically, but they'd use this crazy word like to try to like what? It's not even some people's fault, right? Because like even I do it, you do it, like cahoots and shit.
It's fun.
Like,
well, that's just a fun word,
right?
Bro.
That's a fun word, right? But we still both use like all these words where it's like you would have a simpler word you could use that you could explain it to someone way simpler. Like if I explain any big word and you ask me what's that mean, I'm gonna explain it to you with a series of smaller words that mean it.
Yeah.
Right. Or one smaller word that means
that's why I started thinking deeper. I'm just like, well, like who defined like the smaller word? Like I'm thinking like, it's like when someone's like sprinting, it's just like, running at high speed, and like someone like, what's running? And they were just like, and they just dip off like that's running. That was running.
But let's just say like okay, describe to me something that's okay. Give me the definition of huge.
Large.
Give me the definition of large.
Something that's giant.
Give me the definition of giant.
Something that has large mass.
And you go on and on, right? Exactly. So it's just like big, right? Like big. That's like the most basic way I can say it.
You can trip me up though.
So anybody, but what I'm getting is, but that's what it is.
Bro.
It's a square inside. You ever see when I got them toys where it's like a square inside of a square inside of a square?
Yeah.
That's what you just do till you get that to it's big, right? So I come down here, I'm like, oh, you're like, oh, how heavy is that thing down there? I'm like, it's huge. That's not even a crazy big word, but just as an example, like that means big.
Yeah,
it's big. It's gargantua.
Yeah.
Some shit like that. It's like, oh, it's huge? Yeah, it's huge. Why is it gargantua, dude?
This thing is perpetuating a high mass.
Oh, man, the melancholy in this place, some shit.
Yeah, exactly, man. And I mean, like, all that is, I mean,
you mean the vibe, dude? Like, that's like, get out of here, dude.
You mean the mood? No, I'm talking about the ambiance.
Dude, this is the tilted kill.
I'm talking about the ambiance, bro. I'm talking about the ambiance and the lighting, okay?
This is
mood?
This is a whole vibe.
Yeah, exactly. Big mood.
Right.
Exactly. I like the one recent where it's like, it's like, I hate when motherfuckers be blowing up my phone. I'm motherfuckers, It's just, I like that one.
I always like when they do that on anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like motherfuckers just spend their whole paycheck on weed and partying all weekend.
Yeah.
I'm a
That's what I remember. I was like,
some motherfuckers throw their whole life away on prostitutes.
Yeah, I remember. I was watching a video. It was talking about like Gen Z humor or some shit, and it was just like these two like people just like it's like a picture of like a demon, like a really badly drawn demon, and it says like grunch, and they're just like it's a badly drawn demon. It's like it says grunch. Oh my god, I'm dead. And I'm just like I'm sitting there geeking because I'm just like that is pretty funny. Grunch. And I'm just like it's pretty funny. It doesn't make sense.
I see it, but I'm just
like what the fuck is like what is this like type of like
or like that one where it was like the two stick figures. It's like why is shawty?
Like why is him and Andrew Saul is like part of the same like kind of like comedy thing like genre? I was just like. It's like it's so much more complex.
It's like anytime like that. Any of those things, man, they always get us. It's like the Baby Yoda thing, right? Or like it's just one of those things. It's like, that's fucking funny.
Yeah,
the cat and the blonde girl. Like it's just like why'd that one work of all? Yeah,
exactly.
The cat and this blonde it just worked.
Like why did memes period take off and just like blow up, man?
Because it simplifies.
Like, do you remember like the old school memes, bro? Where like the troll face thing and like the one dude that was just like,
yeah,
it was like those were memes, and then like now it's just like.
But it simplifies things, right?
Just,
like it does,
yeah,
right?
bro.
Instead of me being like, me and you have talked about that one where it's like when I see a meme, I like, the nose thing.
Exactly.
Imagine me trying to explain that to you, right? And then I'll show you a picture like when I see a meme.
Yeah,
bro. I know, right?
Yeah, I remember the there's a bunch of YouTube videos where like there'll be a kid on a drum set and he plays the Pornhub intro. And everyone just like, it's just something that's relatable that a bunch of people know that no one's talked about. I think it all started with like when people like were talking about all the weird things that they thought they only did, and other people were just like, I do too. Like, what I'm saying? Like,
it's wild,
Like, you ever like let the water like shoot off your fingertips and just be like
that was definitely everybody have like imaginary friend outside the window when they were driving. Like that was all types of things they was talking about. Yeah, the thing exactly.
Yeah, it's like. And you just start geeking about it. You're just like, yo, I did that too, man. Like, it's like, okay.
What was the one like they did all, you could do any of them, right? The bike and the fucking thing.
But see, I think that's also weird because then you're talking about like a bunch of people have
I can just be like, when you put that, when you put that card in the back of your bike, right? And then like it's the bike in the picture and the meme, and that says it at the top, but I put like a Gixxer on front of the bike, but it's not perfect to where it looks like I'm riding a Gixxer, right? It's like chopped up, It's like, just like stuff that on there. Like, it's funny because like almost because of the butcher, right? Like that guy just like grunts. It's like, yeah, you can't even explain it, bro. It just explains itself.
It's such an odd thing of culture that's like permeated to the point where like
it's awesome. I love that.
Oh yeah, and then
that's the cool thing about the internet.
Even in like language where you're just like big mood, oh vibe, like shit like when people used to do planking,
or like all the gifs, like all the gifs in Messenger now.
Oh my god, that's my favorite,
like that
bro.
blind guy, it's like. There's like all of that.
Those are all my favorite, bro. Man, we geek so. I just, I love just using gifts. Just like
I love those because I'm a guy where it's like a lot of times I speak with my emotions. So when I'm typing things, I feel like people can't hear it how I would say it. So it's nice to be able to like kind of
animate something. Yeah,
Yeah. I was thinking about the other day because like I got a ball, but you guys don't like it. And I was like, I didn't ask you. And I've had this GIF on there where it was like this guy that was like, like this, but I never sent it. So when I look back at the messenger, it's just like me, like I didn't ask you. It's like, oh shit.
Bro,
and he replies,
I'm always go so quick with a GIF because I'm just like, it could be taken out of context about this GIF. You know what I'm saying? I just always follow it up with a GIF and I try to hurry up before someone replies. And I'm just like, you broke it.
Yeah, I always wonder if I say GIF first and then what I want to say, just get the GIF out the way. Hey, I'm like this, and that's it.
Well, see, you know what I do, bro? And sometimes I geek about because I'm just like, why am I trying so hard? Yeah, but I'm just like, there'll be times where like I'll write something, I'll just be like, yeah, I'm gonna say that. Let me find a GIF for that real quick. I'm just like,
all the time.
And then I'm just like, put a GIF real quick. And I'm just like,
yeah, especially if it's like something simple.
Time.
And they've made it so easy.
And you look back, you're like 3 ha-has.
You just hit that. The group loved that. The group loved that. I do it all the time, bro. Like whenever I'm writing like something small, you know what I mean? It's like if I'm just like fuck off, or something, I'll just put that right in the GIF because it's so easy. Just to go search. It's like fuck off, and then just like 2 people like
I was geeking I had break geeking the other day because I went grocery shopping. I let her sit in the car. I went and got groceries, and I was waiting out front for her to pull the car up. So I call her real quick. And I'm looking at her at the parking spot where she's at. She's on the phone, so I call her. And I stand there like this. And I'm just like,
I like that one.
Yeah, exactly. And I call her. I'm just like, look.
I just hate that I even know that, right?
Exactly. She started geeking, bro. He just is like
that was a good
exactly.
That guy was perfect. Exactly. That guy was so perfect.
He had that one too where he was at the stand.
Remember
he was at the stand too. And he's just like, you remember the one where he was at the podium? And he's the same guy, bro, in the suit. And he's just like, and it's the one where it's like when the joke slaps, and you're just like, we wait for the boys to start out there a joke.
Okay, yeah.
Wait for the boys to start out there a joke. And he's just like,
that was just
the same guy, man.
It was like just the Chicago mayor.
Yeah,
he's like the perfect person for it. I had seen a thing before, where like people were like, I think it was like it was some video thing they were doing online where it was like people that had memes and didn't mean to.
I was reading the chat. I was reading the chat real quick. Yeah, they got Marco Coronas.
Shout out to the boys.
Brendan Fraser. Yeah, my bad. What were you saying? My fault.
I've completely.
I didn't fucking hear, bro. I reached out really now. Oh shit, we got people commenting. I was just like,
I'm just like, oh.
I just know we were talking about memes, dog.
I completely forgot.
It came after the boys thing with the podium, not sparking anything.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Nice. It was people. It was like a docu-series of like people that had became memes and like didn't mean to. Like somebody took their picture, online and like made them a meme. Like it was that white guy. You ever see that white drug dealer? He comes and he's got his hat back.
Yeah,
dude, he did not like,
bro.
He did not never.
I know the name of it. His name was Scumbag Steve, bro.
Yeah, he was on there talking. He's like, yeah, it was like I was just like at a young phase in my life. He's like, I just looked kind of silly. I came in there and took a picture, and next thing you know, like people were like hitting me up, like, you're hilarious. I don't even do it. Don't even know. Or like there was so many people. I can't remember them all. But
I mean, the black and white dude.
The cool thing that like that is the closest thing I ever seen to that was the cool thing that actually Tosh.0 used to do, where it was like viral videos he would bring in. You remember that? That was cool. That was a good idea.
For the web redemption.
Yeah, he had like the karate guy and shit with the afro that came.
All the classic old school ones too, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Numa guy, all that. He's
I was like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Exactly,
that was such a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's just
Tosh.0 couldn't even be live anymore. Like he can't.
He's still. I mean, he's still doing it, which I was surprised by, bro.
That show's still on.
That show's still on, bro. Yeah.
I don't got cable no more. I got no idea what's going on.
I mean, I don't watch cable. I have it part of the package with Comcast.
It's crazy, like,
but
it's kind of. It's like I don't want it, but it is weird, kind of being out the loop on certain things. Like my sister's always telling me about things. Tyler's always telling me about things. I'm like, no,
Yeah, I mean, I just know because like, every once in a while, I mean, like. Nowadays, sports are being streamed like crazy. So I mean, like,
but it's crazy.
I mean, like, originally I got because I was like, I want to watch sports. They don't stream them like that. Right. They just started streaming sports like before.
But as a kid, you're like, can we please get cable?
Yeah.
And now you're like,
I remember I had basics for the longest time. I remember I used to go over to Brian's house, and I would be like, man, it's Comcast on demand. On demand was crazy. Dude, I go home.
On demand.
I would on demand.
All them movies.
On demand, free movies. Like you
start ordering the porn.
You can watch TV shows. You already know what we did. Like, I don't even know how to get in trouble for those. I just lied about them, and then they just went away. Like no one
else hit it or something.
I would just like that wasn't me. Like, who else is it though? It wasn't me. She's reading it. Star Wars.
Are you sure you didn't hit it, Grandma?
I remember she would always dispute it and get her money back, so I was never too worried about it. I was just like, okay,
Really?
Yeah, she would just be like, I don't know who ordered this on my account.
I'm an old lady.
Exactly.
And the Comcast is like, you're an old whore, and we're not giving you your money back.
Watching your fucking smut.
Like, how was Star Wars? I was thinking of renting it.
On a scale of 1 to 5, I would like you to watch Star Wars again.
On a scale of James Dean to Ron Jeremy.
Bro, I remember before I even bought porn, I remember they had the Skinemax. Cinemax late at night. You had softcore porn.
Yeah.
Softcore porn out the ass, bro. That's why it's softcore.
Wonder,
they did show penetration, boob.
But was it in
side? I don't think so, bro. I think softcore is a different genre.
Like
bro.
they just switched. They
never even showed dick. Like it would just show them like kind of like humping that. That was implied the whole time.
Tell me I didn't get the job done.
Oh, plenty of times, bro.
I got the job done.
I got done to a Sears catalog before, bro. Just like as a young kid, easy, man.
I mean, as a man, period, bro. It's never one.
I can't do Sears catalog anymore.
If I wanted to.
I mean, like, how long do you want it to be? It's like
if I wanted to,
I'm not gonna be enjoying this as much as my usual go to, but
bro,
eventually you'll concord.
One time I read the word voluptuous and got me.
I remember being a kid.
When you were at that point,
I remember being a kid. I remember being like,
I did some weird shit.
11, bro. You're just like. Kim Possible, dude, got some curves. Like, it's like she kind of cute. Like,
Kim Possible. Oh, but that's what I'm saying. Like, porn.
You go totally spies, just be like,
okay, Mr. Coleman class. We're watching fucking Rod. Kim Possible.
Guess so. Because it's like you never like. I mean, of course, there's times where it's planned, but you never plan it. But like, there's times where you're just like, you see something, you're just like. Guess it's
nothing you can do, bro. Nothing you can do.
I guess
somebody else took over. If you insist,
I guess it's like
no spit in,
Oh yeah, yep.
If you insist, it's the 5th time this day, but
yeah, I mean,
I enjoyed it every time.
I've
never not enjoyed it.
Yeah,
didn't matter how many times.
Yeah, I mean, it's just hilarious. Like just
it's
being,
it's another time. It's just like a drug where you're looking for anything to fill the void, right? Like,
but
if you, but Just think about like if you were on Six Flags and a water ride, you're not thinking about beating your dick at that time.
People look at monkeys.
when you're bored
People look at a monkey jerk off all day and just be like, oh. It's like, well,
Maybe
you got
women.
a pocket pussy.
That you
What's
made.
weirder?
You made it homemade pocket pussy.
Even where you order like $120 pocket pussy. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like got like a robotic arm and jerks you off. Like, it's like, you know.
I always think about those like
that's weirder.
I've never gotten to no shit like that, but I always think about like people that just like
Bro,
don't clean their pocket pussies, you know.
Bro,
Just nutting in
bro,
'em.
I remember I got started working at Sears. I could either get like a check in the mail or like they would put it on like a debit card that I could hold all the time. It would just be and I could get money out of any ATM and it'd be all good. The first thing I did, you know, like my second check, I was just like, pocket pussy. It was like, I got 75, you know, I just got paid.
$75.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, like, I was just like,
You got the upgraded model.
oh yeah, it's just like I remember geeking because like on the back there's like a thing you twist on and off and it's just like a suction like adjuster. I'm just like I gotta throw this thing
like how
away.
much it
Yeah,
sucks on
exactly.
you.
I remember
I've never seen one. I've never seen one.
I remember. I mean, that's I've only had the one and like I've gotten rid of it like long ago because it's just like it's nothing like it's. I mean, like I don't think it's anything crazy. Nothing. The hand isn't like too like.
It wasn't better.
I don't think so, man. And plus, it's a
Even
whole
for
ordeal.
75?
You gotta clean your pocket pussy out.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Like,
I don't think people
you
clean their
typically
pocket
gotta
pussies.
lube it up.
Yeah, lube it.
Yeah, because it's like a silicone thing. You know, it's just like you gotta lube it. Once you wash it, it's not lubricated anymore. You gotta lubricate. You know. So it's like, oh, let's just do that. You know, it's like exactly, man. It's like, and I was just like, well. This just ain't it for me, bro. You know, it's just not my. Sex toys aren't for everybody. You know, so I mean, like, this wasn't for me. I mean, you might love the shit out of it. You know,
What
but
about
for
like?
me, it was
What do
like,
you think about like a sex doll? You think you get down with that?
nah, not really. Just I mean, like, if they were cheaper, maybe, but like, not really, bro.
But fucking
know?
free, like
You
then you could
a
fuck
free-
one.
I think I could fuck one. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You get a thick
You
one.
know, I mean, like, you jerk yourself off. I think you could fuck
How much would you pay?
something that simulates a pussy.
What about if it was like under $500?
I mean, like, I don't. I mean, the only thing I've really bought was like cock rings and shit. So I mean, like, that's really about it. I haven't
But then
bought
they
something
make
else
one
to
that's a
fuck.
guy, and your girl's like, "Yeah, I want the guy." He's fucking got detachable dick, goes from like 6 to fucking 16. You know, and she says bagging the 16.
4-inch girth, soda can
Next
girth.
thing you know, you're looking at this fucking basic model robot.
Yeah, that's what I was just like.
I should have got the double D's.
I mean, like, it's like I said, everybody. It's not for me. You know, I probably don't have a price for it. You know, I mean, like, but I haven't been a single dude for a long period of time who's struggling to get some pussy. So
I know, bro. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, dude, where I'm at now, like, I couldn't imagine like how long I went before.
yeah,
I mean, you're talking about months.
yeah.
Months, bro. Between like, I mean, my first, 10, I mean, month spans, bro. I mean, long times, bro, that like I couldn't imagine dealing with now.
Yeah.
To go 5-6 months.
And then
I mean,
then to go and then try and last.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on. Like,
you wouldn't stand a chance.
Every time, no matter what, it always gets me. It's the first time you enter and you're just like,
what is that about? What is it about that personality change, man? Like, why is it have so much power over us?
What? Sex?
It's just period. Like, like when you're at that point, let's say it's been 2 weeks, no sex, bro. You're willing to go as low as you ever want. The longer you go without it, the lower you're willing to go to get it out. Like, and you start, Lil Wayne said it best, right? As soon as I nut, I was like, as soon as I come to my senses.
Yeah.
That's the best way to put it.
That's a very serious thing, bro.
It's like,
man.
I think like you need, that's why like people say like, I think you should nut before everything. People say like, don't do it before a football game and shit like that. Bro, I'll be clouded. Dude, I'll be looking at cheerleaders. Like, there's been times where like, I literally cannot look away from an ass because I have not busted in so long, bro. Had I busted earlier, still a 50-50 chance.
Yeah.
But there's a chance that I'll just be like, whatever. Because, I'm good.
I mean, you always go look, but like,
Yeah, but like, as far as like, you ain't bust forever, you're just like, oh my God.
I always think it's crazy that like someone can do that to you where like you just like, they just walk by and you're just like,
Yeah. Yeah. Bro, there's been times I said physical words, bro, that I did not, mean to say, bro.
It's like,
I just like, damn.
Steve, your bottom lip's bleeding.
Damn right it is.
It's like you go like it's like you're just an animal, bro.
In the middle of East Point against Lid's fucking glass. Rubbers. You dropped your fucking moonwalk.
I mean, like we don't experience combat all the time. So like as far as like animalistic feelings go, that's the closest thing I feel to animalistic is like in times like that where you're just like
for sure. Yeah, that is for sure.
It's like I don't know about you, but I just feel like you just feel like a fucking like a beast.
Like someone else controls you, bro.
Exactly, man. You're just like
it's like, crazy.
You know what I'm saying? It's just weird, bro. You know what I'm saying?
For some reason makes me think about just like same thing, but like blacking out. It's just like who the fuck's calling the shots?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because I'm not at the steering wheel.
Exactly.
For hours.
Look at that.
For hours, dude. Last time I was in Fells Point. Next time I remember throwing up in my toilet in my basement. I'm just like, dude, I could have got fucked in the ass and I didn't know, bro. Like, who the fuck was calling the shots and how the fuck did I get here?
Mm-hmm.
They told me I fell in a trash can. I'm just like, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you.
I look fine. White outfit clean. So like, who really found a trash can? Like,
unless you wake up with like bruises. Remember we walked past that guy that was like passed out, threw up all over himself, had his phone next to him and shit. You remember that when we was down there?
Yeah.
Was you there? No, he wasn't there. No, never mind. He wasn't even there. It was last time we went out with Rodney and shit.
You got
we went down Rodos, bro, and we were like walking to Bop to get a slice of pizza. Man, there was like this guy's Spanish dude, so fucked up, bro, and like literally threw up all over himself right out front of Rodos, dude. He like had his phone right here.
He was right there on that Broadway.
Yeah, he was literally right out front of Rodos, bro. Like just against that fence, like across the street.
I'm sure people walk by there, they're just like,
and I see
Rodos.
I know, I seen him, and I'm like, I think we're supposed to like say something, guys. Like he's gonna get got by someone. He obviously don't got no friends with him or something. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna go tell the cop, and everybody was like, mind your business, And I'm like, I'm just gonna tell the cop that he's drunk, basically, right here, But they were like, they're gonna lock him up. I'm like, I mean, he could have way worse happen tonight. That's how I was looking at it. I'm like, get fucked tonight. That's how I'm always thinking. I'm always thinking someone.
They're gonna lock him up. They're gonna
fuck him.
They're trying to get this guy home. He's obviously in terrible condition.
Usually they will take you to the drunk tank, But who cares? That's still better than getting robbed, getting sex
you'll be somewhere,
Next thing you wake up with a gag ball in your mouth and you're tied.
He has no shoes, like,
and you're fucking hog tied.
No shoes, no phone, no wallet.
You just wake up to someone,
and
you wish you were in a drunk tank.
And you
wake up in a drunk tank.
You're still waking up fucked up too, bro. You're waking up. You're just like, how you be able to fight back? Like, you just vomited everywhere all over yourself and passed on a sidewalk. How ready are you to fight when you get up?
Hopefully, Survivor instinct. That's like that can count on.
This guy has full sexual adrenaline running through him right now. He's just fucking unconscious person. It's like this guy. He's just like, I'm not supposed to be doing this, but I'm in it.
Yeah, for him to
he's ready.
For him to get to the point that he was hard.
He's inside you.
Yeah, that's hard to do.
Like I mean, like you're walking by, he's already hard, but like to the point of just be like, all right, we're doing this. Like, it's like there's adrenaline pumping in that moment. He's ready to go. You think he wants to stop?
The worst memory of your life. That kid wakes up and somebody's face fucking him on the side of Rodos or something.
As soon as he wakes up, the guy comes to full like sexual realization. He's just like, oh,
he busts. He busts all over his face as he's coming to
and dips. Like you're in no condition to change this guy. You can't do anything with this guy, man.
Dips over to brick oven pizza.
Do anything, man.
And grabs a slice.
You're still struggling.
He rides over to the couch. He's like, "Here's a drunk guy back there."
Someone nutted in his face.
They didn't even mention it. He's like, "There's a drunk guy right there." And you grab a slice of pizza. You come out. He's like, smashing your pizza. He's like, "You're right, buddy." As they're like blocking him up.
Meanwhile, there's some other guy who was watching and they didn't have the balls to do it. He's just like, just like himself in the corner, just like, did that really just happen?
You all right, buddy?
Did that really just happen?
Good luck. Oh man, I remember my first time.
Did that just happen? Yeah, no, bro. Like,
hey, look, guys, someone nutted on his face. It all just ties in to the elusive nutter. I don't know if you follow me the whole way there.
The elusive nutter, no. And then
I'm saying this guy nuts on this dude's face. He goes over to the cops and he's like, hey, someone's drunk back there. That's all he says, you know? And he goes and grabs his slice of pizza. And while they're locking him up, taking him to the drunk tank, he comes out. He's like, you're all right, buddy. I remember my first time, and then he just tells everybody, he's like, looks like someone nutted on his face.
Is that nut?
Is that nut? He's just like eating his pizza. He's just like, oh, I don't know. He just goes home.
I think that's nut.
He did that like 6 times to 12 guys, He did like 12 guys in the last month or something. It's just like, there's the elusive nutter, bro.
Imagine a news story on that one.
What do you do? Nobody tells that story. That's the thing.
Especially as a dude.
Especially a dude. Yeah. I mean, anybody does. That's why it's so hard to tell those type of stories.
You wouldn't even tell your boy.
That'd be tough for me to tell you.
Like, bro, I passed out. I'm pretty sure the dude nutted on my face.
Honestly, if you came to me, I would be like, bro, you're lucky. You know what I mean? I'd be like, dude, like, he could have penetrated. Did he penetrate?
It just sounds like, just imagine like the playbook story with her, where it's like, call you up, just like, bro, I don't know what happened last night, but I think I got locked up, but I think someone nutted on my face.
I think a girl nutted on my face last night, bro. It was like,
yeah, she rubbed my face. Some girl rubbed my face last night.
Oh no, bro, we seen it, bro. You got knocked out and 2 dudes nutted all over your face. Yeah, bro, that's your problem. You gotta stop drinking. We weren't getting involved in that again, dude. You should have known from the last time you woke up with a nut on your face.
Just something about the idea of this happened, and just like it hitting it in like increments, so where it's just like,
and you slowly waking up while like increment. There's somebody just like,
and they're like, and it's literally just like nut. It's like just getting nut on. It's like
a huge nut. That's what that could happen though, bro. That's the dangers of that drug, bro. That's the dangers of alcohol, bro. You can get to a point that like you'll never be more like defenseless than alcohol, bro. Not even in your sleep. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You're way more ready to go. But like alcohol can make the strongest man in the world, bro, able to get nut on his face.
Yeah, incapacitated, bro.
It's crazy.
Straight up done.
It makes
down
you like
to the count.
You couldn't even like imagine like if we were like in a village mindset. I'm like, bro, I don't even want to indulge in that, even though I do like it. I don't ever want to have a night where like, yet alone a warrior or the chief's drunk. We get ambushed, bro, and like you've got a guy that can't defend himself or can't defend us, can't call the shots. Like we're in danger. It seems like something you wouldn't even take pleasure in, bro.
Exactly.
Even marijuana and weed, you would have to be careful with.
Yep.
You don't ever want to be at any disadvantage, when it comes to something like that. But we're at such a leisure point.
Anything happening while you're sober is pretty crazy. While you're high, so insane. While you're drunk, insane, bro.
Yeah.
Bless you. Oh, thank you. So I mean, like, you could not have that in the village, bro. We're a sober village.
Sorry. Yeah, or you would have to be like, hey, half of us are gonna do it, or something. A quarter of us can do it on one day, and then another quarter can do it, but we can't all be indulging in these things.
Exactly. Or like, there has to be a sober army squad going on, at all times. You know what I'm saying? Archers don't drink. I'm sorry. Right. All the archers we cannot do.
Right.
We have 5 people, good people with a bow. You all can't drink. Come on, like.
And there's that one guy that's like. And then everybody's like, he's better when he's drunk. Yeah, he's just like, he spanks bullseye.
Drunken arrow.
What fucking movie is that where they had to keep giving him booze?
Drunken Fist, Jackie Chan movie, no?
Keeping him going.
I know there was a Workaholics episode where they had to stay before the hangover set in. They had to keep drinking to get. But also there was a Jackie Chan movie. It was the Drunken Fist, though.
Yeah, drunk kung fu,
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
That works.
I love the idea of it.
I just think it's cool that people develop martial arts, period. It's just like, I've got a style to defend us. That's what you're doing, right? It takes a lot of balls to be like, hey, bro, all kicks. That's what Taekwondo did. Somebody was like, bro, all kicks. Like we can finish people with just kicks. Just like, yeah. It's
There's
like
so much power in these bad boys.
Try and hit me. Yeah.
There's so much
Dropping people,
power
like, spinning back
these
like,
bad
liver
boys.
shots, some like natives trying to attack you like this. You just drop with a spinning back liver kick.
Someone comes up and they're just like doing like straight up like karate, and they just like jumping like Roadhouse style, jumping, spinning back kick.
Then you run into the guy. It's like, bro, take him to the ground. And it's like, oh shit.
Twist his arm like this. Disable him.
No, I'm all hands actually. You ain't got no hands.
And dude's on his back, just like, come on, bro.
That's what Joe says though. He said, yeah, he left Taekwondo when he realized how effective boxing was on him. This is like all they train is kicks. It's all defensive kicks, and finishing kicks and shit.
Yeah.
Don't even know how to throw a real proper
specialty, bro. You know what I'm saying?
But then and out of nowhere, all these years come together and we create this mixed martial arts, bro. Where it's like we're just putting all of these best techniques together: the wrestling, the jujitsu, ground game, everything that you can imagine.
A part of like a globalist society where like like back then it was just like everything was like based on region. Everything had like a regional location, or like how you had your fighting style. And it took globalism to bring us all together and be like, hey, let's make some shit up, bro.
Now we can in the internet.
Hear me out.
At the evil and the good.
What if we had his kicks, his ground game, that dude's boxing?
Yeah. But then you had a guy like John Jones or Valentino Shevchenko, and they're both licensed, not professional, but skilled gun owners too. And now it's like you're pretty much the most effective human, defense mechanism you can be on planet Earth. You're 6'5", you got an 84-inch reach, and you can use an AR, and you're 5 stars in every skill of martial arts. So I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I try to explain it to people, but I just don't think they ever get it. Is like I don't think you understand. Like, bro, no, John Jones would beat like pretty much every human ever, dude. Like it's crazy to say, but like it's kind of true, bro. You're talking about like in a one-on-one open field fight.
He's a deadly.
If you're adding like his cardio, his strength, his reach, his skills, what he knows, his knowledge, his fight IQ, his ability to take a punch, he will beat, Alexander the Great in a hand-to-hand combat.
That and he's a skilled marksman. He can handle a gun.
Yeah, not only that, but let's say if you if he didn't handle a gun, he would handle a spear. So now you got John Jones that knows all that with a spear. It's
even if he didn't handle a gun, and you guys were technically on equal gun skills. Still an advantage. Like
still an advantage, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you better not get close.
Yeah, I mean, of course, a gun battle though is like way more odds. But as far as like human conflict, one-on-one, conflict of fist fighting, whatever it is, fighting, John Jones would probably beat most of the people on the planet, bro, of ever.
And that means he could sexually take you.
He could. And it's foolish to say otherwise, bro. It's foolish to say like, Rome's king or something could beat him. Like, dude, he will get flying triangled or something, like something he has never even fucking heard of in his life. He will break his elbows and shit. Like, anybody's got a bunch of chance, I guess, right? Puncher's chance, but very low outcome.
Exactly.
That's I like when John said that. He said, if you got a puncher's chance versus me, you don't got a very good chance at all.
Yeah.
I love that.
Exactly, because he knows. Exactly, because he knows, man.
Yeah,
he knows he's a weapon.
Got a punch chance.
He knows a weapon. He knows a deadly weapon. Everyone has that sliver of a chance.
That's got to be an extreme feeling, right? Just to be like, not even John Jones, but like any trained professional to that degree. Yeah. And just knowing like the skills you possess.
Like I'm the number
You hope
one.
You're not that dickhead that's like, fuck you, tries to start a fight to show his skills.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember that Dougie's friend?
Who?
Dougie's friend from Greektown?
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll train, Instead, you're just hoping like somebody is bullying people, right?
And he's ready to fight.
Bullies you.
And he's ready to fight.
It's like, nah, flying guillotine or some shit. Actually, a very skilled weapon.
Come back to like kind of bring circle to the meme thing where it's like you see that one where like the dude's alone at the party in the corner with his drink, and it's like nobody knows, but you fuck everybody up here. You hope you're not that guy.
Yeah,
triangle that guy.
It's funny being in transitions. That was another thing that used to really creep me out, man. People in clubs are creepy. You want to talk about creepy people? Like definitely clubs, man.
Yeah,
Man, that's just one spot where you're like, bro, you came here to like at raves too. I've seen it at raves too, where like guys will literally like sneak up behind women, bro, for an hour, 2 hours. drinking, trying to look cool, and like slowly scooting up as they're like dancing and scooting back to the point where like the dick's on the ass basically, and they're trying to dance, but like you're like, bro, like you could have tried that 2 hours ago and just knew if she wanted to dance, or not. Instead, you did like this real creepy ass shit, bro. And now, like, I think you got rooflet in your pocket or something, like, man, I've seen some videos of like people spiking drinks and shit, dude. That shit's so sick, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro. How weird, we were just talking about, going 10 months without having sex, I never thought of drugging a bitch, bro.
Yeah.
Not once. You might be like, hey, I'm gonna get drunk with a bitch and hope we fuck. But you were never like, I'm gonna get a bitch stupid, blacked out drunk, and I'm gonna be sober, or I'm a roofie a bitch, or let me get this bitch on some coke or dope or something.
Exactly.
We never thought
it's a predatory mindset every day, like
I'm
shit like that.
off before I do some shit like that.
Exactly. I was like, oh, she's passed out. Well,
never in my life.
I guess
bro.
I'm not getting laid. It's like,
Never in
it's
my
like, come
life,
on
dude.
now. And that's the thing. I've talked to people that are just like, well, I mean, like, it is what it is at that moment. I'm just like, no, it is not.
Bro,
what the fuck are you talking about,
I've legit
bro?
had multiple girls. I'm not even trying to sit here and say, but I've literally had a few girls, let's say, that were literally like, thank you. Thank you for not doing nothing, bro. And not even to say I didn't end up sleeping with them. Better be the next day or whenever it was. But that day, like, they were literally like, thank you. Like, yeah, I was drunk as shit. Like, and you're like, yeah, like, yeah, I wasn't even attracted to that, bro. Listen, before I do anything with that, if I'm, I don't want to get canceled. What I'm saying is like, I'm never going to do no predatorial shit, right? What I'm saying is like, if the weirdest shit I would do in that situation is like, I'm going to go in the other room and jerk off to us in my head having sex or something. You know what I mean? Like, and it's still pretty weird because I'm jerking off in this other room. We are strangers or whatever it is, but that's how I'm thinking. I'm like, I ain't gonna do nothing to you.
Exactly.
Unless you can like do
I
something.
mean, we're in my house,
for
but
pleasure also though, right? Like, I don't even. I'm not trying to fuck a limp body.
Yeah.
I want a wet pussy, on a moving woman that can ride some dick,
and wants to be into it too, exactly. Wants to be into it, type of deal. It's like, what is this?
You see a lot of porn videos like sleeping videos and shit. I'm like, even if it's not like, not all of them are rapey videos. They're not. They really are like, I'm waking you up from your sleep, or like you're still halfway asleep. It's like, not. It doesn't. I'm telling you, it's not like the raping type of thing. It's like literally like a spot of where people are like, yeah, like fucking like what? She's barely awake, not even drunk or high or nothing.
Yeah,
like,
man.
What? Like she's just laying there, bro. Like you can fuck like that. I mean, you could have just jerked off, bro. Just jerk off and save yourself the time.
Exactly, man.
You gotta do some mix up some positions, at least 2 or 3 positions, son.
Let's have some fucking fun, man. This is why we came out. Let's just enjoy this shit.
Oh, you're getting older, man. You're getting old. Rodney's stepdad gave me some great advice one time where he was like, look, son, you're gonna want it a lot, but you're never gonna want it as much as them. It's like you just try to keep up. You just do as much as you can. The older you get, it gets tougher. And it's like, wow, like I see what he means. It's not that you're less horny. I hate the word. Wish we had another word for that. We don't.
Aroused.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's about as best as
I mean, but still, it's like,
kind of weak, right?
Yeah.
He's like, the older you get, you're still gonna get horny, but like literally from like the things you're doing in life throughout living life, like you're not, as a teenager, you really only got one goal, and it's to try and get laid and lose that virginity and have some sex,
Get some neck, do
As
something.
you get older, you got all these other goals and shit that come into play. And of course, you're still horny and shit, and you still want to have sex as much as you can, but you worked 8-10 hours that day. Let's say you're a man. What are you going to do? Go to the bar for 3 hours and try to pick up a one-night stand every night? Like, you're probably shooting low odds there, I'm thinking, or else you're bringing home some weird.
That's probably like, the invention of like Tinder and shit. It's making like you don't even gotta go somewhere anymore.
I don't even know about that life, bro. Like I've never done that.
Yeah,
I've been with Kay for 8 years now. Basically, like, even at that time, I wasn't doing.
Like you were gonna do an
I do Facebook, and even on Facebook, like I would never message a woman, bro. I might have sent like 1 or 2 messages, and it didn't become nothing or something like that. But for the most part, I would wait for like a bitch to message me.
I mean, like I've done like messaging a couple times, and it's worked out, but like it's always typically come from like you met them somewhere You know,
That's
I
like a
had
clown.
some type of like previous type of thing before. You know what I'm saying? But
That's
like,
the weirdest thing.
well,
Though.
you
It's
were
like
also. I was also like 17, so I'm just
you
like.
seen him in person and didn't say nothing. And then you messaged him on Facebook.
Well, I mean, there's been a couple times where, like, it's like I
This
didn't
is
even.
so
It's
creepy
even
and
weird because I
cringy.
mean, like, there was times where like I didn't even know some people, and I'm just like, tried. Yeah, I've tried. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there was a
I
point.
never had that.
There's a point where I was
but
going through
never
where
had
I
that
was like,
with
you
a
know,
guy.
it's just like, you know, I was going through like a whole type of like, you know, trying to just like build, you know, just like confidence, you know, just try and just do, you know, meet, talk to people, you know,
Shoot your shot.
like I mean, like I would say at this point, I'm probably like 17, 18. I graduated high school. I'm 17 that summer. I'm not with Bray yet, you know, shit like that. I'm in school. You know, that last period, I know I'm gonna be out of school soon. You're talking to people. You're not gonna be coming to see. You're not going to high school no more, where all these women are, all these girls are to talk to all day and everything. So I mean, you know, it's just like you throw a couple out there. You know,
I guess for me, it might be one sticking moment, bro. You know the girl, but we won't get into it. But there was a high school crush. I mean, she was a lot of people's crush in middle school. And I never said nothing, bro. Just terrified to say something to her. So beautiful, out of my league, you know? And once we get out of middle school, you know, ninth grade, I'm like, you know, I'm starting to like girls more too. I'm starting to chase girls more, you know? I'm like, that was one of the one times that I messaged a girl, bro. And I remember like I messaged her. I'm like, hey, you know, what's up? How you been? How you doing? You know? And I remember she messaged back. She said, why didn't you ever say anything in school? And just crushed me, dude. I mean, it just crushed me, bro.
yeah.
To the point where like I think I did it one other time, bro. That was like the first time I'd ever did that. You know what I mean? And like to get that, I think I did it one other time. And the other time I did it, we actually had some girls we knew from school come up to Eastwood and we were hanging out with them. And I, once again, didn't say nothing the whole time, just trying to look cool, play sports and shit. Didn't say nothing to the girls. They left. And I'm like, hey, you know, what's up with you? You know, and coming back around. And she's just like, why you want to know? You didn't say nothing when I was up there. And I'm just like, I know I did it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she came back around and gave a guarantee I'd say something then.
Yep. Yeah.
I was like, it shut me down. Where I'm like, yep, you're right. I'm a clown. I should have said something in person. I'm like, I'll be pussy trying to use social media to get you. And it just like made me feel so low of a man. I'm just like,
yeah, definitely,
my
bro.
pride.
You know?
I was like, yeah, I'll never stoop that low again.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
you gotta hit me up now.
Usually you just you know, you meet them in real life, and then you know you just use the platform as a messaging thing, you know, and just move communication from there.
But now, like you know, it's like we said, they're past Facebook where they got Tinder and all types of other shit, where they're just swiping and fucking.
And man, that's the thing, you know, especially once
in the club,
especially once COVID hit, where it was like, okay, well, we can't go out no more.
Oh yeah,
Tinder.
You see like that one? What was it, like Bumblebee or whatever the fuck that is? It's like fucking $6 billion now. It's crazy.
Bro. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dating app.
Yep. There's so many, and it's funny because you don't hear about Tinder, and you're just like, where'd Bumble come from? Like,
yeah, there's a bunch of them though.
But I know a bunch of people who like met on Bumble and shit. Yeah, I'm just like,
that. But think about just how many you've heard of. Period, though, even though they were kind of jokey, like Christian Mingle, BlackPeopleMeet.com, eHarmony,
Farmers Only. FarmersOnly.com.
That all, I mean, it makes sense though, right? Because like, how do they meet other people like them?
Exactly, you know.
So.
Yeah, and when you're looking specifically for that type of thing, it's like, well, you know, what you could do. There's nothing called like the Black Nightclub. I'm gonna go to BlackPeopleMeet.com.
Right.
When we go to church, well, I mean, not people aren't trying to hit on people at church, so ChristianMingle.com. You know, it's like,
right.
You know, so you got
that. It is what it is.
And even you have Facebook dating, which I'm surprised they didn't do that sooner because you have the profiles.
They have Facebook dating book.
They have Facebook dating now. It's just a part of that.
Really? I didn't know
that. Yeah. No one signed up until you go to the dating part of it, and then you can sign yourself up and do it. It's a whole separate thing, but it's all on the same app. You know, you can do, and pretty much directly from your Facebook profile. So it's real easy to set up. So I'm like, why didn't they do this before? Because it seems like a logical step. You know what I'm saying? You already have all the info, the pictures, the bio, the likes, and everything. So you just
simple to make the connection.
Just copy that in a dating portfolio and put that in a separate thing on the same app, and you're just like, oh. $1 billion idea.
Like, somebody must have told them. Somebody in the behind the scenes.
Now we quadrupled our $1 billion before even Tinder and Bumble and all that shit.
It's a whole separate sector with a whole different IPO.
Let me know if you need me Facebook.
Holler at us, y'all. It's been great. It's been another good one. Love you all. Definitely gonna try and stay active. Stay safe. Enjoy your weekends. Summer coming up. We're hooping. Check us out. Stay healthy. Don't test positive. See y'all soon.
Like, share, subscribe. We appreciate y'all.
Let's go, O's. First place, baby. First place.
Shout out Trey. Shout out Trey.